Hey y'all, good morning. Welcome everybody to Game Day with Heavy Cardboard, where we teach, discuss, well, normally teach, I guess, play and discuss medium and heavy strategy board games, war games, 18xx, and today, as y'all saw, the mystery game is a two-player game of Le Havre. So I'm your host, Edward Euler, joined, as is fairly common, I would say, friend of the show, personal friend, podcast friend, the
All
whole
of the
9
above.
yards, right?
Yeah. Hey, everybody. Glad to be here.
Adrian from Mile High Game Guys. So yeah, this should be fun. The reason for the whole mystery game today wasn't like trying to be all stealthy. It was we weren't sure what game we wanted to play today, and so it wanted to give us a little flexibility for when we did the weekly look ahead. So appreciate everybody joining us both live and after the fact. So yeah, Le Havre, classic by Uwe Rosenberg, published by Lookout Games, and recently reprinted, I think, right?
Yeah, I believe Mayfair?
Yeah, that probably because Mayfair and Lookout Games are partners, or maybe Mayfair owns Lookout. I'm not sure, but you get the idea. So yeah, this should be a lot of fun today, I think, or at least that's the plan, right? We're not going to teach the game, okay, because we taught this the previous time we played this downstairs in the studio. So we decided to just, we're going to dig in and just go for it. And to be honest with you, this is one of the games that I promote as a great jump into the heavier side of board gaming. Because rules-wise, there's two things you do on your turn. You either take an offer or go to a building and do what the building says.
Place your one worker.
Right. So not hard mechanically. It's basically two things. So it should be a lot of fun today. So that's it. That's pretty much the intro spiel. As y'all see, up above me is Feudum, which we're going to be live streaming a playthrough of when we get back from Essen. It's going to be one of the first playthroughs that we do. So looking forward to doing that. And yeah, let's stop stalling and go ahead and get into this, right? So, cool. So the good news for y'all and for me, as somebody who normally runs the stream here, no camera switching today because it's two-player. Everything kind of fits by itself right here. Actually, I'm going to move this over a hair so people can see my money as well. So we got that. And there we go. So Le Havre, two-player, plays a lot like 3, 4, and 5-player.
Yeah, this game scales really, really well across all player counts.
It really does. So the setup here is for the two players. So we're going to be playing 14 rounds. The round, kind of the timer of the game is right here. We're going to be going through, either doing an offer, using a building, and that's that. That's pretty much it. And before anybody asks, these cool little containers, I think we got these from Hobby Lobby or Michael's or something. So they're these little crates that kind of look like shipping containers, and they fit perfectly. It was almost like the board was designed for that.
Yeah.
So that works well. So we drew, and Adrian, you're the guest. So you're first, sir.
All right. Well, getting started right out the gate here.
Yeah. All right. So first offer is
flip it over. Ooh, interest. At
wow,
the
and
the
very
every
beginning
turn.
All right. So good to know. So we throw a wood out and a fish.
Yep. And
and by the way, and these are the player aids. So we start with one coal, each of us, and we just do this to make it easier for us to keep it organized and to keep it cleaner for y'all. All right.
Yep.
So place your bits or your bets. Yeah. Place your bets now. I would bet on Adrian. He has a lot more experience two-player than I do.
Yeah. Well, so right out the gate, we got fish, which puts 3 fish, and I'm already looking ahead and seeing that at the end of the round, I'm going to pay 3 food.
Right, because we're two-player.
Nope. And so I'm just going to go ahead and take those fish right out the gate and
you're
cover
good
my
for
end of
food.
Yep.
All right. Well, there's that. So we got another wood and a cattle. So we're up to 4 wood and a moo cow, and there will be a harvest at the end of the round. So 1 cow is not asexual. They do need a mate. However, like early Uwe games, when in doubt, take the biggest supply. So I will go ahead and take the big offer of wood. So 4 wood, and go ahead and take that. Throw that down. Boom, done. Oh, thanks. Yeah, good call.
And next up, I can't see it.
Another fish and a grain. Oh yeah, I guess
Those-
that is one disadvantage of those.
I don't have quite the right angle here.
Ah, see, if you were a little bit taller,
yeah.
we should have gotten the yellow pages. No, I'm messing. All
You
right.
could have just went and got Gloomhaven from downstairs.
Or that, right? The box is sturdy enough too. So, all right. So, fish, grain. So there's 1, 1, 1, 1, and 2.
Yep.
And obviously the buildings. Oh, I guess we ought to point out also. So we have the 3 standard buildings that are always available at the beginning of the game. But in a solo and 2-player game, this becomes a start building, which is the marketplace. So take 2 different standard goods, including hides and coal, and 1 different good per building or per house building that you have. So there's that.
You know, and I'm glad you pointed that out because I was going to take grain, but then it occurs to me that since that's a standard good,
Right?
I can come over here and I can take a grain and something else.
Yep. 2 different standard goods. And all the standard goods are the ones that are on the bottom.
Which?
The Legrand Hemu, so we have 6, is it? 6 special buildings?
Yes.
Right? And they're just mixed in.
Yeah.
So there might be 1 in there. I'm not sure. JJ, not positive on that. And yes, Matt is not going to finish second today. All right?
And then I'll go ahead and, it won't do anything, but just sit there.
Or
But I'll take
this
the
cattle. There you go. Yep. Cool.
Well, no. 'cause
Oh,
that one
wait,
says
no,
'cause I'm
that was
taking
your
it for the
second standard
marketplace.
good. Oh, never mind.
Yes.
I'll shut up and let you play your game. All right.
I appreciate that.
So we got a money and an iron. So 1 franc. So, well, you can eat money. And iron's nice. If I don't take the cattle, I know you're probably going to take the cattle. So I'm playing purple in honor of Amanda since she's not here and there's no yellow. You chose blue.
Yep. My go-to.
And I'm looking at what buildings are out here. The smokehouse is available if I take the clay, as is the fishery.
Especially with that big pile of wood you got
I
there.
know, but you know what? You have no wood, so you can't build either of those, so you're less incentivized to take the clay. I'm going to go ahead and take the quiche. There we go.
All right. Next up, wood and more money.
All right.
That was
so
good
there-
timing because
Right.
with 4 money, that would have been hard to pass
Right.
up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I will go ahead and we're going to get this
Yep.
train started early and start making some cows and
Cow babies.
wheat.
All right. So I will go over. Oh, look at that. We have 2 clay. And now 2 fish. Again, you can use money as food, so I'm not too concerned about the 3 food for this turn since I have enough money. Thank you.
Yep.
And I'm going to go ahead and take the 2 clay. So as you guys can see here, for those that aren't familiar with the game, so supply, so you move your ship, you put whatever out there for the offer, you either then take an offer or you move your building or your worker here onto a building and it stays on that building until you choose to move it or the building is bought or sold, depending on how that works.
Right.
And out here, building 1 or 2 buildings is nice now that I have materials to do so. So your honor for the last one is a wood and a clay. And here, I'm going to drop, can you see these a little bit better if I drop them down like so?
I sure can. That puts them just about perfect.
Cool. So we're just going to drop those a little since we have the crates out here. So a wood and a clay, sir. So 2 wood, 1 clay.
Ooh. See.
And I'll be honest, I think if you guys watch the playthrough, even if you're not familiar with the game, I do think you would pretty much be able to play this game outside of following setup in a rule book.
Yeah.
At that point, I think, even without the rules teach, because there's just not a ton here.
No, there's very low overhead in this game.
All right.
Wow. None of these look super appealing to me right now.
There's always.
I have no resources to build with.
That is a fact.
So those don't apply.
And you cannot reuse the building that you're on.
Correct.
So.
Correct. I think I will.
Yep, Jeff, you nailed it.
I'm gonna. Man, I'm just...
I mean, iron's nice because you do have the iron ships that come out later on, and you can
they're a
already
little way-
start with that.
yeah.
But you can get materials. You can work your way towards feeding your second turn.
And I think that I'm going to go ahead and do the iron.
Okay.
For that exact reason, you
Yep.
know, like I could do wood, but I'd rather
Start working towards
later
start,
on and see if maybe the wood will pile up just a little bit more before I
Fair,
get
well, I
there.
mean, I do have a good supply of
Yeah.
it already. All right, so we have reached the end of the first of 14 rounds. So now we're going to do a harvest. So if we had a grain, we would take another grain from the supply,
which I do.
and then we have, if you have 2 or more cows, they have a baby. Does not. If
Yep.
you have 16 cows, you still make one
One
cow.
baby.
So that's the harvest, and then we're looking at the second or 2-player. We're in the first round. 3 food we each must get or pay to the game. So I'm paying 3 food or
You're paying
3 money.
3 fish.
Okay, cool, done. Then this flips over, and it becomes the first the first wooden ship. What this means is for 5 wood and 3 energy, you can build a wooden ship if the wharf has to be available first.
Yeah.
So we can't build ships yet, and ships offset food, which depends on the level of the ship and the player count. So in a 2-player game, it would offset 4 food for you.
Which isn't bad.
No, not at all. So now we begin the second round, and whatever number is on the top over here on the right says who's going to be first. So if we screw something up, if we forget, oh hey, I'm the second player at the beginning of the game.
We've got this little one to remind that
Right.
I started. in case
Right,
we
so
forgot that as
I
well.
then become the first player. So every time we're going to call out interest wherever this is, and those were randomized. So anybody that has loans, and there are copious amounts of loans you can take in this game, you owe interest on those loans, which
Correct.
I'm sure at some point both of us may partake.
Yeah, 2-player, that food requirement ramps up, and if you can't
Real
provide
quick.
food, you take a loan and just buy food.
Yep.
Eat money.
All right, so I added a wood and a fish, and to be honest with you, I'm looking out here. I think that's the way to go. So I am going to move my worker over here to the construction firm, which says, first off, it has a food. Oh, you didn't pay your 2 food or 1 money.
Which I would have
so,
paid 1 money at
right.
the time.
So he
Yep.
should have paid 1 money, which he had plenty at the time, to use that building. So unless it's your own, which these are the town has built these at the beginning of the game. So I owe 2 food. So in this case, I'm going to pay 2 money as well. And then I can build 1 or 2 buildings on the top of the stacks out here. So I'm going to go ahead and build the smokehouse and the fishery for a total of 3 wood and 2 clay. And you can see the prerequisites at the top of each of the cards. So now I'm going to take these and put it, actually I'm going to keep it face up for you guys. There. And there. So I discard these back to the supply, and now I own these games. There were 16 points at the end of the game.
Yeah.
If Adrian decides to come over and use it, he gets whatever the building can do, just like these. Except here, instead of paying to the game 2 food and 1 money, you would pay moi.
Yes.
Which seems appropriate because we're in France.
Right.
All right. So it is your honor, sir.
And I'm sure that wouldn't bother you having me come and use
No,
your
not at all.
things.
No, sir.
So we get a cow
And
another
a
wood.
4th wood. There you go. Oh, awesome. Adam says, I taught this to my 13-year-old son. Oh, you realize? I just realized that we forgot to bring the chat up. I am a terrible human, terrible host. I am sorry, y'all. So I'm actually, because I have more room down here, we're going to go ahead and boost that up about right there. I apologize, guys. Sorry about that. There we go.
Well, I mentioned that I was thinking about waiting for the wood to pile up.
Well.
It now has doubled, and so I think it would be a good time to take
All right.
4 wood.
So on my turn, 1 fish and 1 grain comes out. So we're up to 4 fish and 2 grain. Now you notice here also at the end of this round, the game is going to automatically build the lowest value building. You want to explain the lowest value buildings to folks?
So when you set up the game, you shuffle all of the building cards, divide them into 3 piles, and then order the piles lowest to highest number. And so currently we have the 5, the 1, and the 7.
10.
Or
10.
that is 10.
Yep.
I'm upside down.
Sure.
Which means that right now the lowest one available is the bakehouse. So at the end of this turn, if nobody builds the bakehouse, it will move here to the public buildings area.
Exactly. All right. Cool. So, hold on. Dinger says, is the rule about the marketplace being a starting building in two-player games something new with the reprint? No. If you take a look, Jason, here, it says right here, start.
For
the
1 and 2 players.
Yeah. So, there you go. It actually, yep. There we go. All right. So, my turn. So, it's always a tough decision on... So I could go to my fishery to be able to get, I would get a total of 5 fish because I would get 3 plus 1 for every fisherman token. So, and I have 2 of them, so that would be 5 fish. This is 4 fish. But whichever one I don't take, you will.
Seems pretty likely.
And I'm blocking you from being able to build buildings, or multiple buildings, but you don't have any clay, and looking at what's out there, I actually will go ahead and go to my fishery instead of taking an offer. So I will take 3, 4, 5 fish.
That's going to be a pretty powerful combination.
And it just so happened that that's the order in which the buildings came out. And just because you went heavy food, and I went resources, it just worked out to where I was able to do that.
Yeah, that was the downside
3,
going
4,
first in that
5.
scenario, and what came out when, by your turn, you were able to take more wood, which set you up nicely for that.
And then the smokehouse, I can use that wood, or I'm sorry, that fish, and 1 energy, which you'll notice on the player aid here at the very bottom there, it says every wood is 1 energy, as you can see also on the wood, to where I can spend that, and up to 6 of these, flip them over, and they're worth 2 food as opposed to just 1 food, so it doubles the value of your fish.
Yeah, while earning you some money.
Right? So,
Moving right along, another iron comes out, a coin. And because food can be very tight in this game, I don't necessarily trust that if I waited another turn, that Edward wouldn't just decide to stock up for 2 turns worth of fish. So I'm going to take them.
I'm not going to say that the plan had, or the idea hadn't crossed my mind. I probably would have, in all honesty.
As they say, I'm going to get while the getting's good.
Yes, sir. All right, so then I will come over here for a wood and another money. So again, there's not a ton. So the grain harvest is nice. I'm not going to lie, because I would then get another grain.
Yep.
But now that you have fish, I'm thinking if I don't use my smokehouse, you will. And the grain isn't as important as it is to you as it is to me in theory. So actually, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and come over here. I don't have to pay myself because it's my building. So I will discard the 1 wood for energy. And then I will then take all 5 fish that I just got, turn them over, and smoke them if you got them. And I got some. So that, and then because it's 5 fish, that also is 2.5 money, or $2 or francs. There we go.
Perfect. Moving right along, another fish, another clay.
So 14 turns sounds like a lot, but
it rolls.
Yeah.
And this is where, if I'd waited, he probably would have taken fish. I was tempted because there would have been another fish on my turn. But
Right.
You wait, you lose sometimes.
And yes, the player aids are available, Michael, on BGG. That's where I think Tony got these, maybe?
Yeah, I have slightly different ones that are full page and have a
Okay.
little bit more information. There's some really great ones all over BGG for this game. I'm going to take that's 2 clay.
Well, that's one nice thing about having an established game like this is the community makes some really cool stuff like this. All right, so you finished the round last turn, so we're going to obviously alternate because you notice you get an odd and even number of turns. So we got 1 wood, 1 clay. So the game is going to build this one, and this one we cannot build.
We can only purchase.
We can only purchase, which means it will not, that stack will not move again until the game builds it. which is kind of interesting because the wharf is sitting underneath it, and there's only one wharf in a 2-player game. I was wondering if Banker Dave would show up because I know this is one of his favorites for sure.
Well, he didn't know what it was.
Oh, fair point, but yeah, good point.
Somebody
good point.
should message him.
You're right. Well, he's here now, so he showed up.
showed up?
So yeah,
Oh, I missed
hardcore.
him.
That's Banker Dave.
Ah.
All right, so let me see here. So I have almost nothing by way of resources. I have food for days, so I'm not worried about food here. It's more about resources, or we are going to have that harvest. So you know what? Let's go ahead and take the 2 grain now, I guess. Fine. So now we have a harvest, so we each still have at least 1 grain. So
I get a
there's
grain.
and you get a moo cow.
Yep.
It's kind of a moo point. Boom.
Cow's opinion.
Right, it's moo. So second round, we each owe 4 food. So for me, that is 2 smoked fish.
For me, that is 4 raw fish. Sushi.
And then the game builds the aforementioned
Bakehouse.
bakehouse. So there we go. So that is now available. And we should also point out that these buildings here are available to be bought by the players. Whereas if they're here, we have to build the building. So the amount here is 6, 8, 8, 6, 4 respectively.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's the end of the round. We flip this over. That's another wooden ship. And now we go into the third round. We're going to owe 5 food. And you notice the building with the anchor on it, that's going to be one of the 6 special building that's available.
Correct.
All right.
Oh, which that was the other thing I forgot to do.
Oh, you can actually look at those. Yeah, go ahead. I'm
Okay.
fine with that. So he gets to look at the top 2.
If I
That's
several
fine.
turns
So
later.
while he's doing that, interest we call, but obviously neither of us has a loan yet. So we'll throw the offer out there and some fish.
Interesting.
Philip says, all that fish is making me wanting some herring. Herring equals Jewish sushi, because Philip is the resident rabbi of Heavy Cardboard. You know, it's funny you mentioned herring. With us going to the Netherlands here at the end of this week, I don't know if I'm willing to try some. When in Rome, I guess, right? I'm still a little apprehensive about that. Yeah. I'm all for sushi. I don't know about the herring.
So I'm a little curious.
Okay.
I have not seen this card before. I'm going to show it
Sure,
here because
okay,
I'm
all right.
curious. I normally
Okay.
I just reference the rule book. So the Pirate's Lair, once a player owns the Pirate's Lair.
So I've played this game about 15 times. There are still far more special buildings that I have not seen than I have seen. So yeah, I haven't seen it either.
So it says once a player owns this, you receive 1 franc from the proceeds of each ship that sails with the shipping line. Which the
Oh.
shipping line's not coming for a while.
Right.
But I notice here the cost is 0. The price is 4.
So it's worth
that's-
0. It's
and I
0
answered my own
points.
question by talking through the
There you
card
go.
because you
Yep.
purchased it for 4 from here.
Right.
I'm used to these. The cost is here, and so I was like,
Right.
is it cost? So is it just whoever gets lucky and is
You
the
got
fir-
it. So,
No, it's
okay.
okay.
So now, look at the top 2 and return them in any order. So I don't know if that's going to be the building that gets built or the other one. So he will. Yes, I am a big fan of smoked eel. I like that idea. Yep.
So we'll stick those back there.
Vincent says, I'm Dutch and I don't eat raw herring.
So I have a good friend here in town. I moved there.
I
for
already
fish.
put him
Oh,
out
did?
for you.
Oh,
Yeah.
I was reading cards.
No worries.
Tanking. I'm going to take
So you have a friend you were saying?
yes, who is Russian.
Okay.
I'm going to take that second iron. And one of their delicacies
Uh-huh.
is called
Vodka?
yeah, well, yes, and that is the only thing that makes this other dish edible. And it's called something in a fur coat. I can't remember like what the name, what it is, but it's herring with a bunch of other things, and it's
Not tasty.
no.
All right. So what are you doing, sir?
I took iron.
Oh, you took. Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, I missed that. Okay. So even though it's right in front of me, so we have a wood and a second cattle. So again, there will be a harvest. There is not at the end of every round, so that's awfully tempting. But so is the 4 wood. Oh. You know what? I'm going to take the 4 wood. I want to be able to build. So take the 4 wood and not think about it. So your honor, sir.
All right. Moving right along, another grain comes out and another fish.
Okay. Oh, Philip says herring in a fur coat. My wife makes it, and I love it.
It was herring in a fur coat.
There
I
you
knew
go.
that it had
All right.
herrings in it.
Oh, and his wife was born Soviet Union. In Soviet Russia.
Love that.
Herring wear fur coat.
Yes.
All right.
It's that cold. I'm going to spend 2 money.
Sorry, Alexander. Sorry about that, but Adrian's got to be able to see it.
Yeah.
So
So I'm going to spend 2 money
okay.
as one of my secondary actions to just go ahead and buy the clay mound over here. Then I'm going to follow that up, and the entire reason I was purchasing the clay mound was because I then want to build for my action with 2 wood.
So you're going
2 clay,
to go
and
over to
2 iron.
the
Yep,
free one,
the
I
free
assume.
one.
Okay.
And I'm going to build the one and only wharf.
Okay.
2 iron.
All right, so that allows
clay.
the building of ships. In going forward, though, the first player who wants to build
Anything above wood.
right needs to put a brick down. And if you notice, the backside of clay are bricks, as you can see here, but we don't have the ability to make bricks quite yet.
Not quite yet. The brickworks is
Right
second
there.
down over there.
And these are splayed out as they are, so you can always see what's going to be coming. That's open information. All right. Welcome, Mira. And welcome, Fabio. All right. All right. So iron and 1 franc. So we're up to 4. Well, so I have 4 wood now. Yeah, the shipping line, this is going to stagnate for a while because it's going to need 3 bricks. Neither of us has the ability for bricks, as we mentioned.
Yep.
You have no clay, so you couldn't take the charcoal kiln. I don't have iron or clay for the abattoir. So I will go ahead and take the 2 cattle. That way I can get that engine going for the harvest. So,
Yep.
sir,
All right.
go ahead.
Shipping line moves over. We
So-
get a wood and a coin. Which
So 5 money, 3 fish, a wood, a clay, an iron, and uno grain. Oh.
I find 5 money very, very hard to pass up.
Yeah, I reckon you might.
And so I'm gonna
Oh,
5
that should be flipped over. That's a smoked fish. And also, anytime you spend more than what you say, what it says, sorry, no change.
Yep.
All right, so a clay and a fish. So if I don't take the clay, you're going to take the clay because you're going to get 3 clay. For fish, though, I could, man. You know what? I'm taking the 2 clay. Yep. Done. And you, sir? A wood and a clay. Would you have taken the 3 clay?
The 3 clay
Yeah.
would have been pretty hard to pass up.
Yep.
Especially seeing that the abattoir requires 1, charcoal kiln requires 1, and then the brickworks also 1 clay. So 3 clay would have set me up nice to try and maybe
That is
build
true.
a bunch of buildings.
Yep.
And I have enough money to feed myself. However, now
Now you
I will
have
take
even
the 4
more.
fish.
Okay.
Just to
So we go into a harvest. Both you and I each get a grain and a cattle. So grain and cattle for you,
Thank
sir.
you much.
And grain and cattle for me now. So there and there. And now we each owe 5 food. So I could do, you know what? I will. We'll do 2 smoked fish and a grain.
You won't be doing grain because it's not
Oh,
processed.
I'm sorry. It's a franc underneath. I'm sorry. It's not a food. I apologize. So my choice now is: do I spend the 2nd smoked fish to overpay or 1 franc? You know what? I'm actually going to pay the franc. So there, and 2 smoked fish for 5. Oops.
I'm going to do the same thing. I don't have a choice to overpay with fish because I don't have enough. So I'm just going to pay 4 fish and then have to pay 1 franc.
All right, and then the game will build the first special building, which...
And I chose not to do pirates.
Okay.
I chose to do an iron mine and coal seam in one.
Wow, so 2 iron and a coal. That's awfully strong. Wow, another one I've never seen. All right.
Then this flips over and becomes another wooden ship.
All right. So at the end of the round, it's 7 food now and another harvest.
It
So at least the
ramps
harvest.
up
Yeah, it does.
dramatically.
All right. So we have interest, no loans. So a wood and a fish.
I think that loan thing might be changing very shortly.
It very well might. The 2 iron is awfully tempting. I'm not gonna lie. And you know what? So I will pay 1 food, which is 1 money, and get 2 iron and a coal. That's just too good to pass up, I feel like. So we're up to 2 coal, which is 6 energy, and now we have some iron. I feel like we're in
I
business.
come over here to wood and cow.
So that's 4 wood there. Everything else is at 1.
Which...
Yep. Yeah, we never play out of print games.
Never.
No. Nothing we play is out of print. It's just awaiting the next print run.
Exactly.
I like the way you think, Matthew. I like where your head's at. And Reef Encounter will happen hopefully this calendar year. I'm trying. We'll see. No, JJ, it's always 1 cattle. It doesn't matter how many cattle you have, you always produce 1 cattle.
Yep.
Okay?
Somebody mentioned earlier, lazy bulls.
Yes, lazy bulls. Exactly. I
Alright.
could really run with that, but I elect not to. All right.
Yeah. I'm going to do for my alternate action, because, I mean, I can, and I think it's a solid play. I'm going to spend 6
Okay.
to buy that iron mine out from under you.
So that means my worker comes back and just hangs out.
It's the only time that...
Or if you
They get
sell it.
removed.
If you,
Yeah.
buy or sell. That's the only way those move. All right?
Then for my turn, I'm going to take...
Here, let's do this. We'll go there. And then, here, there you go. This way we can differentiate between
can kinda
those.
see
Cool.
there.
There we go.
And then I'm going to take the 4 wood. Give myself a nice little stack of wood.
All right. So, a fish and a grain. Now it's starting to, now it's a lot less obvious on actions. So, so I have 2 actions left after this. The wood and the franc and another wood and a clay. Okay, I have my plan. I'm a little apprehensive to say it out loud. So let's see, a wood, a clay, and an iron, and a clay. Yep. So I'm going to have to actually move over my player aid to be able to do all this. So I am going to go ahead and go back to the construction firm. I owe 2 fish, so there's the smoked fish. And I'm going to build the abattoir and the charcoal kiln. So that's going to be 1 wood, 1 clay, and 1 iron for the abattoir. And the charcoal kiln is 1 clay. So there we go.
I think the bets on Edward might actually pan out.
I don't know.
He's-
We'll see. So I'm going to move that over and move this because you guys really don't need to see that. That's more or less for my benefit. So we have those and there. So that I just, by being able to build them, not only we now have access to all this, but got another 16 points there.
Yeah.
Okay. So, and I will go ahead and put, if you guys can see it, try and, there we go. Cool. So I am done.
Right on.
Your honor, sir. 1 iron
And
a
1
franc.
money.
So that's 2 iron out there.
Well, I took the wood last time, which gives me currently 6 wood. I also happen to have a wharf,
Ah.
which means that I can spend 5 of that wood, the coal for 3 energy, and I can build myself a wooden ship.
Yep.
Which
With Iron Men.
will come in very handy because, as we mentioned earlier, the wooden ship provides 4 food each
If
turn.
you want, just lay it sideways,
Yeah.
and then you want to show. Yep.
And then there are all of these chips that you can use if you'd like to remind yourself that, hey,
I know
have
4 less food.
4 food just right there all the
So
time.
you only have to pay 3 this turn. I have to worry about 7 still.
I do still have no fish, no money, so finding that 3 food is still a priority, but this makes
And
it a
you
little
only
bit
have
easier.
1 more turn to do so.
Correct.
I, however, get 2. So we have a wood here, and then 1 franc. All right, so I had a plan. I may adjust said plan. So we have a harvest here. So I have 3 cows. So if I were to go to the abattoir, it would only produce me 3 food, which not really so hot. Whereas the grain, that would produce me 6 food, and I wouldn't really be getting ahead of things. Choices, choices. Okay, so here's what I'm thinking about. Right now, Adrian doesn't have any money. He cannot go to the abattoir because he would owe me two money to be able to go there, but he could possibly go to the grain, the bakehouse here. I think I'm looking at the cattle, and the cattle is tempting because then I could go to the abattoir to get two steaks and a hide if I were to go there, which that pays 6 of my food of the 7 that I owe. But it's only, oh man. But it's only, yeah, I'm not going to it's 2 iron. Oh.
And this is where the simple gameplay gets complicated.
It really does. In a good way, complicated.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
It's all in the depth of planning, right? So I do need to focus on food. 5. That would be 10 and 2. Three, 6. So I'm mathing out. You know what? I'm actually going to take the grain. I'm not going to overthink it. Do that. So Adrian, you get a clay and a fish added to the offers.
Which I couldn't do the bakehouse because it costs a food. I have no food. So I couldn't do that. I can't do the abattoir because I can't pay you 2 money.
Right.
However, I was looking ahead as I planned all of this out, and I knew you could either use your fishery or take fish, not both. Either way, I was going to get 3 fish. I am going to free up my wharf in case you want to build a ship, because that would also get me food, and I'm going to come use your fishery.
All right, so you get 3, and the reason he doesn't get any more is these symbols, he doesn't have a fishery, so he gets 3 fish. And because of that, now I will go ahead and go here for the wood and the clay, and I have to, quote unquote, stay on target. So I will go ahead and go over to the bakehouse. I owe 1 food. That's going to be 1 cash. And I can also spend, oh, it's per grain. Yeah, reading. So we're going to go ahead and do 5 grain, which is going to be 3 energy, which is going to be 1 coal for the energy. So there's that coal that I got from earlier. So these grain all become bread, which are 2 food apiece. And because I did 5, it's 2.5 money. I get $2 back. Done. All right.
All in all, not a bad action.
Yeah, not terrible at all, actually. All right, so we have reached the end. We go into a harvest, sir. There you go.
Thank you, thank you.
Yep. So another grain and another moo cow for moi.
Philip, if you don't feed your people, you are forced to take loans. Which, when you take a loan, you take this card and 4 money, which you can then use money for food. So in this case, like if I had no food, 4 wouldn't be enough. I'd have to take 2 loans.
Well, it would be for me. You have the 4 that gets offset, but yeah.
If I had no food
Sure. Oh,
covered.
yeah. Gotcha.
Which then the really interesting thing about the way this game interest is here in the first round. And so so you'd take the loans, and then you'd come back and you'd immediately have to pay interest, which is 1 franc per loan. Oh, I just took 2 for 8, spent 7, come back, I can't pay
I
all my
have to
interest.
take another
I have to
loan.
take a third loan. And it can spiral.
It can. It very much can.
They even have 3 loans
Right.
on the back.
And then you notice it's 7 to pay back per loan, which
Yes.
sucks.
And so in addition to constantly paying interest, paying them back is harder. It's
Loans are routine, though. They're not a game, like, you're not out of the game if you take a loan. They are very much a tool
Yep.
in this case.
Yep.
All right, so we've done the harvest. Now we owe 7 food. So in my case, that is 1, 2, 3, and so that's 6 and 7 food right there.
And in my case, that's a wooden ship for 4, and then 1, 2, 3 fish.
There we go. And no buildings get built. So that's the end of the 4th round and another wooden ship. At the end of this round, we have a harvest. We have, we're going to owe 9 food. And now the lowest building, which looks like would be the brickworks, will get built by the city, actually. No, at the end of the turn. At the end of the next round.
This turn, because there was nothing for this turn.
Correct.
Yeah, getting ahead of myself.
No worries. All right, so you're up, sir, and interest, still none. So another fish and another wood.
And, you know, this is where it gets tricky.
I want all of it. This one time, can I take 3?
Yeah. And here's where I'm having that debate again about what I want to do. So I know that I make 4 food a turn, but I'm going to own 9. So I could take the 4 fish, but then I'm still 1 short. But if I wait until my next turn, another fish comes. But is 4 fish going to be too tempting for Edward?
Because you've blocked my ability to take 5 fish now.
Yep. And so that is.
There's the rub.
Yeah. And it is a thing. I am going to, in the hopes of maybe steering him away from taking the fish, just in case, I'm going to free up the fishery.
Okay.
I'm going to come over, I'm going to get myself 2 iron and a coal.
Good thinking. All right, so let's take stock here. So we have an iron, I have 3 wood, and I'm looking over there. I would need a clay to be able to build the brickworks, which that's how you get bricks. Tempting. There are 3 clay. You still have no money, so you cannot take the abattoir. So I'm safe there, and I'm blocking off your ability to make grain because of this. So you know what? Let's go ahead and just suck up. Oh, I'm sorry. Hold on. Let me move my guy. So 1 wood and 1 cattle. And now I will hoover up all 3 clay. And now you're welcome, sir. You get your 5th fish and a grain. Does he stay on target? Because there are now 4 wood, there's 2 cattle, there's 2 iron. Choices, sir.
They do abound. Oh. So it's tempting to get off target a little bit here. I have 1 wood. I have coal. I'm not on my wharf. I could take all that wood and then maybe just build another ship. But then I'm still short.
You're still 1 food
going
short.
ahead. And it would take an action to take the wood. It would take an action to build the ship. And then maybe I'd have another action to get some fish or some money or something. I think that considering this ship goods stay.
Yeah, they're like luggage forever.
I'm paying, essentially dividends in the future. I think that I'm going to change target just a little bit.
Glory to Rome, sir. Glory to Rome. That was exactly my plan. So I was just trying to look disinterested. Didn't work.
Didn't work.
All right. Well, okay. There's that. So a 3rd iron.
Which makes that awfully
It
tempting.
really does. you still can't do anything with the brickworks because you have no clay.
Yeah.
Well, I'll take the 3 iron. Thank you very much. I'll worry about food later. Food's overrated. Who needs to eat? Psst.
Wood and money come out.
Right?
Now that I did all that hard work, it'd be a shame to not take advantage of it. But I'm looking over here at Edward, and he's got coal, but he doesn't have enough wood to build a ship. There's no
Oh,
iron
no,
ships
I don't
available.
have enough wood? I can't imagine why.
Yeah. So that tells me that I can do this for my last action of the turn. I should take advantage of the pile of fish that is still there.
You suck so hard. All right, so for me, so I have a couple options here. I could take the brickworks. So yeah, so we
over,
there you go.
Clay and another fish.
Okay, so this is my last turn, and I'm gonna owe 9 food. There is going to be a harvest, but this is my last action. So my choices are: I could make enough food right here to be going to the abattoir, but then my cattle don't have babies, and I'm just barely keeping my head above water. I could take five fish, which is nice, but then I would need to take a loan, and then I'd be able to pay my interest.
You have 2 bread that pay 2 each. 5
Oh,
fish. And it
that's
would be
true.
just
That's actually,
enough.
that would be. And I wouldn't have to use my abattoir for action. So you know what? That's actually a good point. We'll go ahead. I'll take the 3 plus 4 plus, it makes 5 fish, which offsets along with my bread. So I guess that would be loaves and fishes. So that'd be 3, 4, and 5 fish. And it feels like a wasted action, but it keeps my head above water.
Yep. And sometimes that's what you do.
Right? So clay and wood, sir?
And this is where stay on target comes back into play. Was able to take a little detour, do some things.
Right.
I could be tempted, I've got enough to get through this round. But the whole point of this was to pay dividends long term. I'm going to do a wharf. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wood and a coal.
So there, and now it's 8 food that you don't have to pay.
Yep. And so I'll come over here. I have my 4.
There should be an 8
There is
in
an
there,
8
right?
in here somewhere.
It might be on the back side, though.
Of some of these. So I'm going to look for it.
Okay, so while you're doing that, I will pay. So we have a harvest, so I will get your stuff ready here, sir. So here's mine.
There it is. 8.
Okay. That's really lucrative for you. And I feel like I am definitely behind because of it. So there's your grain and your cattle. So we each owe 9 food, or in your case, 1. So I'm going to owe 9. So there's 4, and then the 5 fish that I just got. Keeping my head above water.
Yep. I have 8 in my 2 ships, so I pay 1 fish. And I've paid mine. The city now builds the lowest one, which is the brickworks.
Which, because I had to do other things, I wasn't able to build said brickworks. So actually we'll do like this,
Slide
so
those a
that,
bit.
so we'll be able to do a 3rd row if need be.
Yeah.
And so both Mira and Eder mentioned that they appreciate us thinking out loud. Honestly, if we're not, what's the point of live streaming this,
Yeah,
right? And the interaction with y'all, that's the whole point of us doing it. Otherwise, yeah, I just wouldn't see the reason
Especially
to do so.
like in the 2-player setting like this, and it's a game we both have
Played a
bunch,
number of
it's
times,
okay
right.
to talk through a little bit more and hopefully help some people out.
Yeah, and if it causes me him to snake a move that I wasn't going to be able to do, or that I was going to, so be it. Not the end of the world. All right, so we have reached so we did our harvest, we paid our food, the city built its building, so we flipped this over. At the end of the 5th round, we have what might be the last wooden ship. I'm looking, yes, that is the last wooden ship, and I'm looking at this. This is all open information. So it's going to be an iron ship at the end of this round, and you guys can see another harvest, 11 food, and then the other special building, which we both know, or I don't know, quote unquote, is the Pirate Cove or Pirate something or other.
Yeah.
All right.
So it is interesting. In 2-player, it progresses pretty much exactly. It goes wood, then iron, and then steel. In different player counts, like in 3, it goes 4 wood, an iron, and then comes back to wood.
Yep.
And it does that in some of these other ones.
Yep.
3 wood, iron, couple wood. So it plays a little different at different player counts, but it does scale, as we mentioned earlier, very well.
Interest, neither of us has taken a loan yet. So
Managed
we
not
have
to.
wood and fish. All right, well, so now I'm looking out here and we have the colliery, I think is how you say that. We have the tannery and the shipping line as the buildings available, but you need bricks for the tannery and the shipping line, whereas the colliery, I can build if I wish. Oh, good call. Thank you, Peanut Gallery. Thanks, Adam. Way to be on. Oh, and Mira. All right, good job, y'all. All right, so I'm looking here. So the 4 money is tempting. The 2 cattle is definitely interesting because Adrian is still broke, so I don't need to worry about the abattoir yet. But if I went to the abattoir, it doesn't cost any energy. That's the other really nice thing, is if I take those cattle, that would free me up to make 5. That's a total of 15 food. I would actually have leftover food, and next round is 13.
Not getting by on the skin of your teeth anymore at that point.
Right. That's awfully tempting. I do have a fair amount of resources to be able to do stuff later. You still have no clay, so I don't need to worry about the brickwork. You know what? Yep. It's not the biggest. Okay, so hold on. Before I do that. So I'm looking over at Adrian's stack, and it looks like he has upwards of 7 cattle. And while it would be unfortunate if he took the cattle, I just don't think that's going to be a priority for him. Because he has so many cattle and he can't use the abattoir because he has no money. So I think he's going to look in other directions, maybe the wood, maybe the clay, because you have almost nothing by way of building materials. And another cattle is going to come out on the next action. So you know what? I'm going to kind of prevent you, in a sense, of taking the cattle by taking the money. Because if you don't have the money, you can't come to the abattoir, so you're less incentivized to take the cattle. So I'm going to take the 4 money and say, Your Honor, sir.
Yeah. Somebody mentioned earlier.
What was that?
It's a Glory to Rome.
All right.
This is going to be a Glory to Rome edition. We need to redo this sometime in the evening.
Yes,
for Glory to Rome
patron
edition,
only,
so that I can really let the sailor in me out.
Which is truly,
Yeah.
you cuss like a sailor. You are a sailor. You were in the Navy. I'm a Marine, Department of the Navy. So yeah, maybe we need to do this one again as a Glory to Rome edition. I like that idea.
I would be absolutely down for that.
All right, so you got a wood, which actually puts out a 4th wood now and a 3rd kettle.
Yeah. Which I'm tempted, as this turns into a Glory to Rome edition, to just out of spite take the cows that I can't do anything with. But
because I hear that cows don't appreciate you just trying to bite, taking a bite out of
it's a tough leathery hide.
It is.
Wow, yeah, that. I was hoping that your interest in me using the abattoir later. You know, you get 2 money when I use it.
I do.
I was hoping you just wait for that money to come to you in a roundabout manner, rather than
It
so
filters
directly.
from you to me.
So that changes things just a little bit. I think that
David, take care. Thanks for joining us. All right.
Man, it really doesn't leave a lot of options for where I want to be. I've got fish. I've got 8 food. I'm not worried about food right now. Like you said, building resources would be nice. And that's where I think I'm going to go with this turn. Looking ahead, the clay's not getting any bigger until way later. So waiting for it to get bigger doesn't make a lot of sense. I'm going to take it right now.
All right. So my logic playing you paid off in a sense that, okay, so we have another fish. We have another grain. Now I will go ahead and benefit from the extra cattle. I will go ahead and take that. And we're now up to 1, 2 to have babies and 6 cattle here, which makes 18 food, which takes care of most of this round and most of next.
Yeah.
Hey, buddy.
Move along. We get another iron.
And oh, there's a franc available for you.
There's at this point, I think that the only thing that really makes much sense for me right now is to take that pile of wood.
And my thought process there was I could have taken the wood instead of the cattle, but at that point, if I keep denying you stuff, you will, out of spite, just be like, you know what? No, you're done. You're not getting the extra
If
cattle.
it's too many cattle, I'll take advantage.
Yeah, even though you can't eat them
yet.
All right, so we filled that offer, and there's no more cattle coming out, so I don't see a reason why not. So I will go to my abattoir and be like, oh, I don't need money. So I will go ahead and take the 6 cattle,
This guy.
flip those over, and because that's 6, that's going to be 3 full hides. So I will go ahead and take the 3 hides.
I'm not sure what kind of butchers exist in this port town that they're only getting a half a hide per cow.
Yeah, seriously. They're still honing their craft,
Yes.
apparently. So you're up, sir. So a clay and a fish.
And this is my last action of the round. I've got 8 built in. I've got 4 fish.
Take care, Tony.
So I'm in a position where I feel pretty good. The problem with that is I don't have money. So I'd have to pay the 2 food.
Which then defeats the purpose of doing that.
Yeah,
right?
I don't want to give up half my food. I'd end up with it'd be a net 0.
Right, and a wasted action. Yep, makes sense.
Instead, I'm going to go ahead and take my happy little piece here. And, well, let me just double check. What buildings do I have? Those aren't really... Ooh. I'm going to come over and I'm going to...
Take care, Tony. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you on Slack.
I'm going to use my clay mound.
Okay,
And so that gets me 3 clay plus 1 per little...
Hammer,
which I have a hammer. So I get 4 clay.
Yep. Oh, here, you can take it. You can reach. All right, so for the final action of the 6th round, I will put out a wood and a clay. All right, so I have all this stuff. What do I do with this stuff now? I can, again, still get the colliery. It just doesn't really, it's just not terribly exciting to me. And correct me if I'm wrong, once buildings are built by the town, it's only purchasing that gets them into your tableau, right?
Yep. Which is hard to do when you have no money.
Right, yeah. And even though I have a fair amount, I don't have a lot. All right, so I have plenty of food, so I'm not worried about that. So I actually want to do something useful. And... okay, I know what I want to do, but I can't do it until my next action. I can't really say any more than that. So I'm looking here, what is there for me to do? I have now 3 grain, 2 cattle, so the bakehouse really isn't any good. Obviously, I'm at the abattoir. I don't have enough wood to make the charcoal kiln worth it. I could get 5 fish as an option. I could take a couple of different resources, basic. Yeah, or I could build the colliery using the clay, and the steel mill requires bricks as well. Or I could turn the 3 bricks, the 3 clay into bricks, which we're going. You know what? Don't overthink it. So there. So I owe 1 food. That'll be $1. So I will go there. So I'm going to actually take all 3 and turn that into 3 bricks. That cost me a total of
2 energy. Well, 1.5 energy.
Right.
It is
Yep.
also worth pointing out as you do this that in La Havre, bricks can actually still count as clay.
Right.
So none of the other goods can count backwards.
I could waste using the coal, but I'm going to actually spend 2 wood to do that. So I turn 3 in, so I'm going to get that buck that I paid for that back, and I get my 3 bricks, and I'm done. So now we go into the harvest. Oh, go ahead.
No, that,
Oh, okay.
yep, nothing else to add to that.
So another cattle, another grain for each of us. We each owe 11 food, or in your case, 3.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go... Nope. I'm going to spend 3 steaks for a total of 9. Yep. And 2 bucks. Because I want to be able to save that for next turn. I don't want to waste the 1 meat on that. So there and there. That's the end of the round. Special building gets built, which we all know what that is.
Pirate's Lair.
Right. And here, we'll go ahead since...
Spaces.
Yeah, there we
add a
go.
little bit of
Now
a
you
premium.
guys can still see what that building does, so we're good to go there. So again, a reminder, once a player owns this, which it's worth 0 points, but it costs 4, you receive 1 franc from the proceeds of each ship that sails with the shipping line once that becomes available.
Which you're essentially taking a gamble that you think forced shipping is going to happen.
Right. And I would argue possibly that this is more lucrative in a more than a
Yes.
2-player game.
Yeah, I think that we're going to find that one
Not terribly useful.
Nope.
All right, so that's the end of the round. We go, this is going to be an iron ship. We know that already. And now another, are they all harvests?
Yes.
In a 2-player?
Yep.
I did not know
Because
that.
you can see,
Okay, yeah.
again, on the
Yeah, they are.
leading up the very, very last round, you don't harvest in 2-player.
Oh,
That's the only one.
Okay. Well, there you go. So, 13 food at the end of this round. That's it. Your honor, sir.
Ooh. All right, we move along. Wood and fish get
Interest,
added.
but still, here we are. At the end of this round will be the halfway point, and still no loans, for better or for worse.
Yep. So, I would...
Pavel, I think, is how we covered this last couple streams ago. So welcome.
I would really like to build an iron ship, but my wharf is not modernized. I need clay to modernize it. I need brick to modernize it. I have clay that I could turn into brick, but it's blocked. And then also looking over there, I see that you've got 4 iron, and you've got a coal, which provides 3 energy, and it costs 4 iron and 3 energy to build.
That's weird.
So I don't think that's gonna be available.
Possibly not.
In time for me to take advantage of that.
I'm gonna say no.
I think I need to look elsewhere for my turn. Which I think that the elsewhere for me to look will be to take the 3 wood.
Wow, really? Okay, so this was my original plan. So it goes wood, wood, wood in all 3. I was going to add that, so that would have been...
4 more wood?
Right, which would have offset what I just spent for the brick. Which would have gotten me a wooden ship as well down the road. Wow, I did not expect that. That's what I was saying I can't really talk about. But the fact that, and again, these are randomized before the game, so you never know the order in which those are going to play out. That's unfortunate.
It makes that first round kind of interesting as things get revealed. Then once you know,
Then you start
they don't
planning
turn
for
it into a memory game.
Right. Well, okay. So I have plenty of food. I'm not too worried about you taking the fish. I don't care. It just doesn't bother me. And yeah, I see no reason not to. There's no time like the present. So I'm going to owe you 2 food, which I'm actually going to give you the 2 money.
Oh, how?
And the reason for that is now he, in theory, might use the abattoir and give me my money back to be able to give himself some food and be set for a long time. So with that, I will go ahead and be a team player, and I will...
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. I will put the brick out, And I'm going to build the iron ship. So I have 4 iron, and I need 3 energy. And wouldn't you know, as you said, there's that coal. So, yeah. If you would hand me a 5 food, sir.
I can handle that. Giovanni, you've missed 2 official Glory to Roams. There's been quite a few that are...
Thank you. Let me see here. Actually, you know what? You don't need all this dead space with me, so hold on. I'm just going to shrink. Whoop, there I go. Okay, so there's me. So I'm going to put my ships right here. There we go. So 5 food. So hi, everybody. I'm we. Block, block. All right, done. You're up, sir. A fish and a clay. 6. I'm sorry. I knew what. I don't know. I got nothing. So 6 fish, a wood, 2 francs, 2 clay, 1 iron. Looks like 3 grain and a cattle. A single moo.
Huh. Well. So I'm looking. I've got 2 more turns coming after this for planning ahead this round. We're going to need 13. I've got 8 and 9. So I need to find 4 more food somewhere. Technically, I've got 2 money that I could use.
For the abattoir.
For the abattoir, or if it came down to it, as part of my plans for feeding. There's a lot of fish there that would cover me for this round.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I brought the horse the water. I'm just saying. You got to drink, though.
I do. Well. I also acutely feel like you are winning the... you're doing a little better on the building.
So you're at 22 points right now, and I'm at 16, and so I'm at 32. Okay.
So definitely doing a little better there. I do also have 8 in ships. You now have 4 in ships. So we're actually pretty
close, right. Take care, Philip. Thanks for joining us.
Which I'm going to just take advantage of the fact that building 1 building costs me nothing right now. I've got wood and clay available that I didn't get to turn into bricks. Thank you very much.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
So I'm going to use 1 wood. I'm going to use the 3 clay. And I'm going to go ahead and, at the risk of opening up the steel mill, I'm going to take the coilery.
There you go.
Which I'll sneak in right there.
There you go. All right. So first things first, we have a 2nd iron and another franc. All right. So I need bricks. I have 2 bricks. So that would be Stanley, 2 bricks, as opposed to 4 bricks that I need for the steel mill.
Yeah, bit short.
Halfway, and I have no iron. So,
later, Philip. Enjoy lunch.
This is hard. 6, 11, 2, there, done. All right. Man, this one's a tough one for me.
And this right here is where I love Le Havre across the board, player count wise, is like we've talked about. Teaching it's simple. You take a good or you use a building. Like,
that's all it is.
As the game goes on and there get to be piles of goods, there get to be more buildings, your options of what to do with those simple actions really kind of expands, and it gives you a lot to think about on a turn.
So,
and, yeah.
The things that I'm considering doing, taking the iron, I'm considering the marketplace, actually, because that allows me to take 4 different goods because I have 2 buildings here.
Your fishery and smokehouse
are
also.
So my. Actually, that would be 6 different goods, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, all but 2 on the bottom row.
Yeah.
Wow. I didn't realize that.
That's more where I'm feeling the hurt from the buildings. I would like to use the marketplace more often, but for me, it's still just 2.
That's too tempting to pass up right now. So I will go ahead. I will pay 1 money to then take 6 different goods. And I get to look at the 2 special buildings as well. So the 6 goods, so I'm going to take a wood for sure. There's 1. I'm going to take a clay for 2, an iron for 3, a coal for 4. And you know what? Why not have a free harvest right before the harvest? 5 and 6. And then look at the 2 special buildings.
And this is why you put out 6, because there's the ability
You
to
have
look at them.
choice,
You'll only ever
yep.
actually see 4. You can, in theory, cycle 1 all the way through the deck to where it never is seen. But while he's thinking about that, since it doesn't affect my turn, and I know what I would like to do, I'm going to take, well, first I come over, we get a wood and another franc. Money's starting to pile up again. Gets tempting, but stay on target.
So that's actually 5. We'll do this so it makes it easier for you all to see.
I'm coming over to my fresh coalery, and I get plus 3 coal and a max of 1 for green hammers. I happen to have one of those, so I get 4 coal.
Both of the buildings are kind of, they're not super exciting. So I'm going to go ahead and go in this order, like so. There we go. All right. Well, I intentionally avoided talking about the fish because I was going to get another fish added to this during my turn. And so that's now 7 fish. I mean, that's 7 food. That's hard to pass up.
It was, even at 6, it was tempting, right there with that 5 money. I just, at this point, I have a plan. I'm sticking to it, for better or for worse.
You're one up on your plan than I am. You go there. Yep, I am. I am going to take the... So it's 7 food, but it could become 14 food if I use the smokehouse. That takes an action, whereas $5 is $5 regardless. And it doesn't require the action. I do have a few cattle. I have, you know what? Or do I take the clay?
Chris,
Man.
Benjamin, what do you mean? Did we put money into the offering? Was it not at 5?
No, it was 5. I actually exchanged
I didn't know
the
if we
5
put a
ones.
single.
No.
Because that's good.
You put money in the offering, not back in the bank for... We'll continue and you can explain that, Benjamin. Yeah, I'm just going to take... Oh, this is so hard. So you have 2 iron. So the 2 iron here doesn't really make a lot of sense when I could come over here for 1 food and take the iron mine and coal seam. So, okay, iron's out. So then the question really becomes clay or the money. 3 clay is pretty good. And there is going, you're going to take the clay. No, we're going to play a little denial. I'm going to take the 3 clay. So, but I mean, I could make a valid case for either one.
Yeah.
So yeah, done.
All right, so we come over here. Wood and clay.
Yep.
Clay would have been very tempting at 4, but I can get 4 here.
That's a fair
for
point.
Free.
Yep.
And as I mentioned, I've got a plan. I've got to stay on target. This is my last action of the round. I've got 8, 9, 10, 11.
And you're too short, right?
I'm looking like I might be hungry.
Oh, did I? Oh, he's saying, okay, so this should only be 4, apparently.
Okay.
Okay, so actually I'm glad I didn't take it so it didn't mess it up. Apparently when I paid this, I paid here instead of there for the money there. All right, cool.
That's what I wasn't sure. Hey.
Welcome, Ian. All right. All right, so, food boy.
Oh. So, and this is where staying on target I might shift off of that. I'm looking over at what Edward's got available. He's got 1 iron, he's got 2 wood, he does have some coal, but he's not in danger of building a ship on his next turn,
Correct.
which means I can push it off a little bit. If I build a ship, it would have to be the wood, which would add 4. So I'd be at 12, 13. I'd have
14,
enough.
15,
I wouldn't have
right,
to spend
yeah.
my money because we only
Right.
need 13. But I could also take all that fish, which you might be more, especially when it comes around and there's another one, 7 fish, and you own a smokehouse. That might be too tempting for you to pass up.
Do you care, though, is the
And
question.
do I care?
Right.
Because I'd have another, oh. And that's where this game will get you. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. That'd only leave me 2 fish after I paid everything. I think that staying on target is going to be the name of the game for me at this exact moment in time. I'm going to come over here, use my wharf. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wood and 1 coal to get myself yet another ship in my
You're
burgeoning fleet.
Becoming an armada,
Yes.
actually. So you're up to 12 now. Might be on the back of the 11? Yep, there you go. Cool. So 12 food. That's sexy. I would be lying if I said I wasn't jealous. That's really nice. All right, so we go into a harvest.
And the other nice thing about that for me is that ship I just bought is worth 6 money. The ship that's now available is only worth 2. So
It
I got
de-incentivizes me to go
Yep,
after it.
a little
Yep.
bit.
So we each get a harvest. Oops. We both owe 13 food. In your case, that's 1. And for me, that's 8.
Have 1.
So I am going to overspend. And I can, waste a little bit of meat. So we're good to go because I have the 5 there. Good. No buildings get built. However, we have another iron ship. And at the end of this round, it's going to be 15 food and the lowest building built, which at this point will be the shipping line. All right, so interest. We're past halfway now. Still no loans.
Amazingly low loans.
So 4 wood, 2 clay, or a ton o' fish. And we will take the ton o' fish, which ton o' fish is 8 fish. Yep. Too much to pass up.
That was the risk,
Yep. So that's a 5th wood out there, and we're looking at a 2nd cattle.
Well, I think I know where I want to go with this turn. I gotta keep playing that stay on target. Stay on target. Although, see, I've got this one, 2 more. And I'm going to need to find 3 food by the end of this.
Okay.
I've got 2 money. Maybe this will be the turn where I decide to just take a loan.
Or
he really wants me to come use that.
well, no, it's not. It's not. It's just. I mean, you have a mountain o' cattle.
Yeah.
I mean, you would
That would
be able to convert
set me
6
up
or 7.
pretty solidly for the rest of the game. If I left 2, so I would keep producing, I could do 7.
Yeah, which is also 3 hides.
Yep.
I mean, it's 21 food plus the 12 every turn. That's pretty strong.
I also have a decent amount of grain. There's a bakehouse. The bakehouse unfortunately requires energy, but I mean, I'm sitting on a bunch of coal. That's not a huge concern
Yep.
right now.
Yeah, I'd say it's pretty close right now. Although the fact that you get to offset 12 food, I think, is the advantage for you
Yep.
right now,
That's
for sure.
definitely going to pay long term. So there's a few things that I want to do. It's a matter of what order
Yep.
do I do them in. And I am going to take the wood. I have a plan. I'm going for it. That reaction makes me feel like I made a wise choice.
It wasn't going to be there your next turn, I assure you that. Damn it. All right. Well, all right. Now I got to refigure. What are we going to do? That's frustrating. Well, so we got, yep. Come over to the brickworks. I'm going to go and turn 4 clay into 4 bricks and get 2 money out of here.
Oh, I think you got to mark that one.
And that's going to cost me 2 wood.
I think you got to mark that one. Glory to Rome.
Wait, you took the wood. It would have been available had you not taken the wood.
Yeah, see, well,
This could be going for a record.
I really, so the plan that I developed that
Take
was
care, Michael.
immediately scrapped. See you, Michael. I knew the wood wasn't going to last another turn if I let it go. So I wanted to get the wood now. Then I wanted to do the brickworks to turn my 3 clay into 3 bricks. And then I would have enough to buy this shipping line before it goes there. Because I've got all these ships. I've got cattle that's 3 franc a cattle. I really wanted a shipping line to be able to send things on.
I'm heartbroken for your tough conundrum.
And
now.
yeah, that stings. So, all right. Shifting gears.
Stay on target until you can't. 3rd iron and a franc, which now that's going to be 5.
Yeah.
There we go. Marlon says, I would love to see the first heavy cardboard table flip. I would not, as owner of this wonderful, beautiful BoardGameTable.com table.
Aside from the fact this would be a hard table to flip.
Right.
It's sturdy.
It is.
I couldn't do that to this table. I'm going to take the 3 iron at this point.
I figured it wasn't going to last.
Yeah.
So, 1 wood.
You know what? Actually, I'm sorry.
Okay, go ahead. So the wood and it's 5 francs.
I
so,
want to
here,
take the
on.
3 iron.
Okay.
Really badly because it's 3 iron and I've got coal, so I don't need coal over here. However, what I do need is that I need to be able to use my wharf, which means I have to come off of the wharf.
Okay.
And he's not going to go on it with any of the goods he has. So, unfortunately, as much as I would like to, deny him the 3 iron, because that's probably going to be pretty tempting for him, I'm going to take 2.
It is. I mean, I have 1. That's a 4th. You do have enough, don't you? And I have so you're going to beat me to the ship.
This one, but
there is going to be another.
Yep.
So 3 iron is awfully hard. However, you have no fish. So because you have no fish, it frees me up to be able to go to my smokehouse, which gives me enough food for my last action to do so. And if I don't take so here's an interesting thought. So if I don't take the iron now, the next iron doesn't come out till here. So you go here, you're probably going to go over and build your ship because you're going to want the offset because you don't have any food and you only have 2 money.
Yeah.
And you probably won't, you won. And you could take the iron and then delay, which actually is you know what? Yep. Because you could do that, I will go ahead and take the 3 iron. And I had filled that already. So you're up, sir. So a clay and a fish.
Yep. And, this is where, and normally I wouldn't talk about this at all because don't want to influence things. This is where I start to have a major dilemma. Because I know that the next card is going to be an iron ship. It flips over. And because as I talked about with the wooden ships, they increase in value as they go. So this one's worth 6. I'm going to go ahead and show.
I assume 8.
So it's going to flip to 8.
Yeah.
You know, it's not a huge difference, but
2 points could matter.
2 points could really matter in this game. So I'm tempted there's 6 money. I could take money, pay 3, get through this turn, have extra cash, and then I could go for building the next big one. The risk there, and the one I'm not sure I'm willing to take for just 2 points, is that on your turn, now you've got coal, or you've got iron, you just took it, you've got coal, you come to my wharf,
It is a possibility.
and then you sit on it.
Because just hang out and just, you know, be a stevedore and
I can't
just
imagine
chill
you're
out.
going to sit there for the entire next turn, but you might do it enough to throw me off.
But I also need food.
Well, building a ship would give you...
I guess that would give me another 5, so then I would only need 5, and I do have 5 fish, plus I have 4 money.
Yeah.
So that is an option if I decide to go that route. It's possible. There are other options. I do have quite a bit of brick. And there's the steel mill. I don't have any wood, so I can't do the shipping line nor the tannery, but the steel mill is available. It's 22 points.
Yeah.
And I'm not trying to dissuade you. I'm just saying I have options.
Right.
I haven't thought through what it is I'm going to do yet, so I will wait to see what my options are when you take your turn.
And that is the story of this game, is you have options.
And a multitude, which it's not overwhelming. It's just there's a lot of candy in this game.
Yeah.
And by candy, I mean there's a lot of choices that are all good choices, but do you stay on target or do you deviate from that because the candy is just too tempting? I don't know. And the candy changes. It completely changes. What's candy for you might be, you know, salt to me. It might not be worth it to me. I don't know. So we'll see. Marlon says the strategy lessons are solid today, gents. And Matthew agrees. Good. Glad you guys are enjoying this, fellas and ladies.
I'm going to take the money.
Okay.
I'm going to take the money and run.
All right. Well, so I've kind of already gone over my options. So I'm not interested in anything that's out here. So my options realistically right now are I have 5 here, which would need 10 food, which there's 8 fish and 2 money. So I don't need to go to the smokehouse, but the smokehouse doubles that.
Yep.
So that's an option. I could go to the wharf and build the second iron ship, which that's what I'm leaning towards doing, I'll be honest. I just never thought realistically that it was going to be available to me.
Ooh, shiny.
I can't think of a reason to not do that, really. So I will. So I will go to the wharf. I owe you 2 food, and you can have 2 gefilte fish.
Which was another thing that I was thinking, that if you do that, it helps. I 12, there's 14. I'm only going to have to pay $1.
That's true. So for the ship, I need 3 energy. So there's the coal and 4 iron. There's 4 iron. So yeah, let's go ahead and get the second iron ship. So this will just stack right there, and that's going to become 10.
There you are.
Excuse me. Thank you. So that's 10 food I don't have to pay, which is still behind your 12, but okay, now I can breathe a little bit here. So now we go into the harvest. So 1 for me, 1 for you, and 1 for you, and 1 for me. So we both have a pretty healthy stack now of grain and cattle.
Yep.
We go in 15 food, so I owe 5.
I have 12. I owe 3.
There's my 5 fish. Okay.
And moments ago, you were saying you were a little jealous of my 12, and now you're at 10. You're right back there in it.
Yep.
And that's the way these go.
So the building,
The
shipping line comes out. All right, so we'll just throw it over here. Actually, here we can.
Yeah.
There we go. All right, cool. So those are available from there. The ironworks has now come into play, and we are done with round 8. So another iron ship. So 16 food and the special building coming out at the end of this round. It is your honor, sir, and interest still. So I don't know if this is really impressive or poor play on our part.
Right.
The fact that neither of us has either seen fit to take a loan or
been forced to take
Right.
a loan.
Yep.
All right, well, and here's where I get nervous. Like, how long is he going to sit on that wharf and keep me from jumping over?
Denial
Denial.
is more than just a river in Egypt.
Yep. Um,
That was terrible. I know. I know. I know.
so looking across the board, grain is starting to pile up, which is tempting.
Asher's having a dream.
Yeah.
Asher, it's okay, bud. Wake
Asher,
up.
buddy.
Wake up. He's crashed out behind us. Yep.
He's out. Especially with all this grain, I could flip it at the bakehouse. Energy, not really a problem for me. I'm sitting on 4 coal, so I can flip a bunch over there at the bakehouse with grain. Same thing with cattle. I've got money now, so I can use the abattoir more or less at my leisure.
Yep. And if I free it up and I go to the abattoir, well, okay, you can build
Then
a
I
ship.
build my ship.
There, right.
So those are both kind of working in my favor. I'm pretty confident I'm going to get a build a ship this turn. So sitting at 12, expecting to add 5, 17. I'm expecting food to not be an issue. So 3 fish, not flipping my hair back. There's no money. I've got wood. That would potentially be a tempting one. So I think that what I'm going to do. Oh, also real quick, let me just. The brickworks is available, and all 3 buildings require brick. I think that is going to be my opening move.
Okay.
I was thwarted before. I don't want to get thwarted again. So I'm going to convert 3 clay into 3 brick.
And you owe food first.
Yep. I owe food, which will be a buck. And then I've
2
got
energy.
6 wood. There are still wood ships available. So I've got plenty of coal. But I think
Spend 2 wood for the energy.
I'm going to spend the 2 wood for the energy. And then I get the buck I spend.
Right.
back
For the
as-
half.
yeah.
Right, because you did 3. All right. I'm pretty sure I know what I have to do on this turn. So we add a 3rd cattle and we add a wood. And that 4th wood really is important to me. There's no iron. So, yeah. I mean, if I'm going to do iron, I'm either going to go there or the marketplace. But right now, wood is really tempting to me because that ironworks is really nice. You might build it. It's a potential if you do build it. And there's no more wood coming for a while. So if you do build it, then I can come over, I can pay the one, get the iron, and then have flexibility on what it is I want to do. Plus, I have hides, so I can turn them into leather if I decide to go that route. So I'm really not too worried if you decide to build the ironworks. I can always look back because you will have spent, you won't have enough brick. I'll be ahead of you for the steel mill then if we do that. So we can go tit for tat, so to speak. So I will go ahead and take the 4 wood to give myself the option or possibly to force your hand depending on what it was that you were considering doing.
Yep.
All right.
And
So grain and a fish. Go ahead.
yep. And so, leading into that last turn, you had the potential for steel mill. You end up spending your iron elsewhere, building
Right.
a ship.
Uh-huh.
Not a bad move. I'm still expecting that you have a lot of brick. I only have 3. I can't build the steel mill. It would take getting clay, going back to the that's going to be too many moves to plan for that. But what I can plan for is that for the steel mill to work, you need iron.
So I hear.
And so I'm going to come over here. I'm going to spend 2 money instead of food. And I'm going to build 2 buildings. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 wood. I've got 1, 2, 3 brick. I'm going to build both the tannery and the ironworks.
That's a good move.
Again, you've got hide you might want to turn into leather. I've got a lot of cattle that I might want.
Do this.
Yeah.
There we go. So we know you're first.
Yeah.
There we go.
So I'm thinking that and then that's 24 points.
Yep. Can't really argue with that logic at all, sir. All right. I mean, I'll be honest. I really did want to be able to build the ironworks. And
and I will actually pay those goods that I splayed out for display.
All right, so what comes out here? So we have the town hall. The cokery, very nice, because that's going to be very beneficial when we get into these guys, ships-wise. The steel mill is an option.
I mean, the town hall, not a terrible option for you. It's worth 6, and then 2 per building. You've got
Which I have 4 of them.
It's another 8.
Right, yep.
Doesn't really do me any good. I've got 1. Not
the best
seeming
for that.
super lucrative.
All right, so first things first, an iron comes out and another franc, and by another I mean a franc. So I still have one more action after this.
The most interesting difference for me, Dave, is how much food ramps up in 2-player versus like a 5-player. If I pull over here, the 4-player even, we went 3, 4, 5 food in our first 3 turns. In a 4-player game, it's 1, 1, 2. So something like a wood ship in a 4-player game will tide you over longer, whereas here, like, I'm trying to buy a ship almost every turn just to keep up with it. So I think that's one of the really interesting differences in player counts.
Man, this is really, really
I'm trying to help
hard.
you out
No, I know. So here's what I'm thinking. So if I go to the ironworks here, it's going to cost me $1, and I get 3 iron. That's nice. However, if I were to come to the marketplace here, I would be able to get a coal and an iron, as well as other stuff. And then come over to the ironworks to get a 4th coal, a 4th iron, which gives me a 5th. Actually gives me a total of 5 iron. Because that would be 4. I could spend the 3 plus the wood to be able to give me a 4th, and then I will have gotten a 5th here at the marketplace. But is it worth the second action? And the problem is if I go to the marketplace, I'm going to still need food. I only have 10. I owe 16. Ugh. So I have 7 grain. There are 5 available. That would be 12. So I would need 6 energy. Man, that's really prohibitively expensive. Whereas the abattoir is free to do. There's 3 cows out there. And to be able to keep those, that would be a total of 7 cows, which is 21 food. I'd be sitting really, really good.
Yeah. Yeah.
And there's nothing super crazy pressing for me to do right now. So you know what? I'm just going to take 3 cows. I know that seems a little short-sighted, and maybe it is. But, yeah, I'm okay with that. So a wood and a franc.
So this is my second turn. At this point, my wharf is still tied up.
And not on purpose. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not intentionally doing that. I'm just trying to do other stuff. I am almost positive that next turn, I'm going to move it, whether it's to the abattoir, because I will need food, right? We've already established that. Or I come over to the marketplace, or I come to the iron mine, or I go to the ironworks. So those are kind of my options. So odds are I'm probably going to vacate.
So what I'm looking at now at this point is I'm low on resources again at this point.
As
for
happens in this
building
game,
things.
it's weird.
Yeah, it's almost like you use them. I do have a substantial amount of cattle. I have 8. If I keep 2 for breeding purposes, I could just go all in and cash out 10. But the important thing is that I have an even number, so the hides, I'm not wasting any.
Right, so you'd get 4 hides out of that.
I do also now have the tannery, which then can turn hides, which I'd do 8, I'd get 4 hides. That's
maxed at 4.
Maxed at 4.
Which gives you money, and hides are worth 4 francs if you use the shipping line. Right.
Not to mention, all of that meat provides me food. The tricky thing there is that potentially means that you might might not move off the wharf, so I
It is.
might not hit the iron ship.
It is. If you block me out of there, that definitely limits my incentive to leave there. There is a lot of grain. There would be 4 clay there, which realistically, that's probably the 2 offers that I would be tempted by.
You know, I think that just considering that I've got the ships, that I'm hoping to do shipping line, I've got the tannery, it's a lot of food. I haven't just. I think and he just took them, so it's kind of a nice little.
And money.
Yeah.
All right.
There's your
so,
2.
Yep. So
Free
there's your
change.
3 back. Okay. You suck. All right. I tried to talk him out of it.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna lie.
Part of me wants to go all in. If there were still cattle there, I'd consider it, just hoping to pick them right back up.
Right.
But I think that the numbers just work out.
No.
Yeah, sorry.
There you go.
8 meat.
Yep. And 4 hides.
Correct. And yeah, that's where things lie.
Well, all right. So a 4th clay and a fish.
Yeesh.
So I don't have enough food. So I would end up taking a loan for 4. No, I wouldn't. I have the cash on hand, so I don't need to take a loan if I neglect food. So I'm looking at if I took the clay, which right now it would be 4 clay here, whereas you would get 4, 5. You would get 5 by going to your own clay mound there.
Yes,
So
since I've added another hammer with my ironworks.
Or, man, yeah, that was dirty. That hurt.
I wish I could honestly say I'm sorry, but I'm not going to bullshit you.
Okay, so I still don't have any iron for the steel mill. You are a ways away from being able to, you're not going to get the steel mill from me. There's only 1 iron. You would go there. There's only that 1 iron spot. And the energy is nice, but I don't need it. So you know what? I will go ahead and come over. I will pay you 1 food, and you'll just get a fish.
You'll pay me 3 food, or you'll pay me $1.
Sorry. So
which means
a
you'll
buck.
pay me $1.
And I will take 3 iron. And I'm not going to pay the energy because I can't. So instead, I'm just getting 3 iron. Done. So wood and a clay. All right.
Here's where plans have changed for me a little bit. I was really wanting my war freed up because I want to build a ship, but now I've got food. I'm not as concerned about the ship now, knowing that again, the next one is going to be worth even more points.
Right.
So I think that instead, I'm going to start prepping for later rounds. There's a special building being built. I have no idea what it's going to be. I can look ahead where in turn 9, I can see that in turn 10, nothing's getting built. Mm-hmm. So these aren't going anywhere anytime soon.
Right.
Steel mill, it'd take me 3 turns. I'd have to get clay now or take clay there.
Yeah. I can't see the
brick
steel mill being in
play for me. The cokery, maybe, and especially if I'm wanting to ship.
Which you need, and the cokery is worth a ton of energy, which is the key for shipping, and which it's worth 10 energy.
Yeah, so 3 energy per loaded ship. I've got 3 ships, so it'd be 9 energy per time. I mean, I can, hit 3, 4, 5, well, max of +1, so I can get 4 there. But it gets way more efficient if I have the cokery. It's 18. Ugh. Plus, if I take clay and start working towards brick, it puts the pressure on him to go for the steel mill because, hey, if you snooze, you lose.
Right. Yep.
And so, I think that I'm going to start moving in that direction right now because I feel pretty confident in my food right now. I could use my clay mound for 5, but there's 5 right there, and
I have to pay
he has to pay. So I'd rather him pay me a food to get 5 rather than get.
No, I would only get 3
Yeah. So
because I don't have the hammers.
It limits how much clay he can get while making him pay me for it. I think.
In that case, you can get your own stuff. All right, so we're both harvesting 16 food. So I have 10, $5, and a fish.
I've got 12. Meat is 3. That's 15, and then I'm going to pay $1. I don't want to waste 2.
All right, special building comes out, which it's really anticlimactic. It's called the Guild House here. So it's 8 to build or 4 to buy it. I'm sorry, it's 8 to buy.
Yep.
4 it's worth at the end. It also has a hammer and a fisherman, and at the end of the game, value increases 2 for every city building type thing. So if you notice, neither of us have any.
Nope.
So I really wasn't worried about that one at all. So this is kind of like the Pirates Lair. Whatever.
Now, it does count as a city building.
It does.
Correct.
So this would actually be worth 6. Right. Yep. Okay. All right.
But yeah, I think that's another one that just in a 2-player game, because of the cards that come out, the building cards, it's...
Oh, sorry. This gets built. So another iron ship. We're going into round 10, and round 10 is the first steel ship coming out. And just so everybody can see, steel requires 2 steel and 3 energy. And it's worth 16 points, and it's 7 food.
Yeah.
Okay.
Steel ships are...
Awesome.
Yeah, pretty
Interest,
fantastic.
still not.
Yeah.
So I don't know if congrats or oof, for us. All right, so I have some options now. So, I really don't have... Oh, no. Oh, that's unfortunate. So I overlooked one step here. That's really unfortunate.
Giovanni and Mira making plans, or trying to make plans to play. I don't know if anyone knows, aside from the app, if there's a good online implementation, but I would always be down if there is to play 2-player Le Havre with pretty much anybody. It is one of my favorite 2-player games. This and Agricola are both fantastic, I think, as 2-player, back and forth, don't normally have to worry about GTR.
All right, so I have 1 action there. I have 2 actions there. Hold on, 1, 2, 3. So if I go that route, that gives me, 3 actions. So I have 1, 2, 3, and I have a 4th action available to me. All right, so it might not look like the best idea here on the surface, and I can't really talk out loud for it. I'm just going to trust that that I have a plan, all because I am 2 food short. Actually, hold on. I could go 1, 2, 3. I could do it that way, and this way I have some longer term. So you being at the abattoir is kind of a pain in the butt, but that's okay. So we're going to come off the ironworks. We're going to come over here to the bakehouse.
Okay.
So I am going to bake all but 1, I think. So that gives me 7 or 6 for 3 wood.
To save the extra.
Yeah, and I will. So that's going to be 6 bread. And do I owe anything? I owe a food, and I cannot. So that was the reason. So hold on. Cannot do that because I don't have the food.
You're out of money.
I am out of everything. So instead, I will stay at the ironworks and I will take the fish.
Okay.
So that is one of a 3-turn process that I have for something I'm kind of excited about. So, okay, Your Honor,
All right.
sir.
Wow. I can't wait to see how I can interfere with that.
Right, let's hope you don't. So a wood and a moo. Okay. Yes, Eder, you should.
It's very nice having a significant other
Yes,
who is into
yes.
these kind of games.
Yep.
I am
Just-
fortunate enough in that
yeah.
regard as well.
And the fact that we have pretty amazing game groups around here in Denver
Yeah.
is really beneficial as well.
All right. Well, I'm also going to stay on target and keep the pressure, maybe, depending on what he's trying to do. I'm going to come off. I'm going to do the brickworks
Okay.
as per the plan. I've got 5,
So that's going to be 2.5, so call it 3.
which
Yep.
I've got a coal, and so I get
And
brick.
$3.
$2. I turned
5. 2.5. You're
Yeah,
right.
and then
Yes,
you
sir.
lose the rounded down.
Yep. All right. So
Oh, and I had to pay a food to go there, which would have been a
what? Right. And now I will go here, which is to pay you a food
Okay,
to get
thank you.
2 iron and a coal. Oh, sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm so excited. I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, so far so good. And there, you're up, sir.
So now's when I start to have
An iron.
thoughts and debates. So
Well, not just start, but
not just start,
right,
but this
yeah,
is
yeah.
this is where I have one of 2 ways to go. And for all I know, Edward probably is planned accordingly to where, depending on what I do, might influence one of 2 things he does.
Yes,
You got a bunch of brick over there.
I do.
You've got coal now,
I do.
and you got a bunch of iron now.
I do.
So the wharf and building
Another
A ship
iron ship.
is
That would
an
put me
option.
at 15, which takes care of most of the food, and I have fish.
Yep. So that's an option. Also, with what looks to be at least 6 brick and
It is 6 brick and 5 iron.
5 iron, I mean, you could just snatch the concrete and the steel mill.
What?
It's almost like if I build the ship, you go that route. If I go that route, you build the ship. Because I don't have 6 brick.
You do not.
I've only got 5 brick. So that doesn't work nearly so well for me. I can't build both.
That's 40 points.
It is a lot of points.
That is a considerable amount of points, but it also takes a considerable amount of resources.
It does. I think that bearing in mind a couple things. Whoops.
Good call. Thanks, Daniel.
Bearing in mind a couple things. There's more than one iron ship.
There is, but
So-
one is worth 10. Oh, and 8. So, okay, not a
two
huge
point
deal.
difference
Yeah.
there. I think that 22 points, that's a lot. And I'd rather me get 22 and you get 10 and some food than me get just some food and yeah. So, long story short, I'm going to build one building.
Hold on. Hold on. Okay. And now that it's unmuted, glory to Rome. I've been working this whole time to be able to build both those sons. You son of a mother. Son of
Yeah, we're going to need to play a Glory to Rome
Oh
edition
yeah.
of
Oh
this.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's happening now.
And so yeah, I'm going to jump on the steel mill. Especially
You
because
suck so hard, dude.
I've got both means of... So now I've got all the iron and all the steel production in-house, where I like things. Nice little monopolies going on. And yeah, I feel...
Yes,
feel
that
pretty
was
good
the
about
plan,
that.
was the 40 points. That's 100% what that plan was.
Matthew thinks that's a record. Record breaking. 4 GTRs in one game.
And y'all didn't hear what I said,
And
actually.
I had to mute. You had to mute the sound.
That wasn't a glitch.
Glad you're enjoying it, Daniel.
So I'm sitting on 4 fish. So the luxury liners and the steel that are out there, luxury liners aren't good for anything other than points. There's a 34 pointer out there. Oh, lordy, lordy, lordy. Let's see. Man, that really thwarted my plans. So I got a few options. I could still build 2 of those out there. I could build the Cokery or the Town Hall. And if I built the Cokery, that's the last one, isn't it? That's the last one there.
Yep.
And there's 2 there.
With the
So
church.
the church.
Making bread and fish.
Yep.
And it
Loaves
cannot be
fishes.
bought, which is for some reason the town makes it. They're just out of luck.
Wow, that really messed me up. Good job. You suck.
Do you timestamp GTRs?
We don't.
Mira was
Oh.
curious.
So I do have one more turn after this. Three, and I don't have any of those. So my options, realistically, are going to the Ironworks, which is going to cost me 3 food, which really sucks. Go to the Colliery, which costs me 2 food. That kind of sucks too. The Abattoir, to where I don't have to worry about food for a while. But I feel like I need to be ahead of the game in a sense. So 12, 2... You know what? I am. I'm just going to go to the Colliery. So here's 2 food. And I will go ahead and get 3 coal. Well, hold on one second. Yeah, I am. Stay on target. Done. All right. You're up, sir. Clay and a fish.
Well.
All right.
Yeah.
Ian says, I may have just ordered a copy of Forbidden Stars. May. Yeah, this is definitely going to be potentially, when we get back from Essen, this might be a very good Glory to Rome session, you and
yeah. I 100% agree.
for this. Yeah.
So, I had a brief thought about changing up plans and things for the game. I was looking that I got some iron. I got a steel mill. I was like, I could turn that iron into some steel and buy a steel ship. But then I noticed that right here,
it's
5 per iron. I've got 9. I would love
you can spend... I'm torn up. Not at all.
No.
Nope. 0.
So that makes the decision easy. Congratulations on, I'm sure, ending up with a steel ship. Because I think that's what's going to happen next. I'm going to come over here and I'm going to get an iron ship.
Okay.
No, I'm not. Because I only have 2 iron.
Yep.
And that is 4 iron.
It is.
Well.
You were on the brickworks.
Yep. I will come over here and I will get 2 iron and a coal because I like energy. Ooh, or.
Oh, cool. Glad you enjoyed the review, Ian. Thanks. Wow, this is brutal, man.
Yeah, this is getting harsh.
I can't believe you bought that.
17.
I can't believe you bought that. 40 points in one turn.
Yeah, I'm going to take the coal and the 2 iron.
All right.
Man,
So
I wish I had
wooden
one more
clay.
turn.
All right. So I'm actually okay with this. So I could take the steel mill to turn it into steel and block that to where you can't. However, no, I can't. I don't have the money, so I can't even, it's not even an option.
Oh,
So
wow.
I'm okay if you actually do that and take this steel ship. I actually have a backup plan for that. So let's go ahead and just take care of the food issues that have been plaguing me. Let's just come on over to Abattoir Land. So that's going to be a total, that could be 9 or 10.
Or
We're in
8.
Oh yeah, I guess so. So 8 to keep
Probably
the
8
pair.
or 10.
So if I did 10, that's going to be a total of 15 food, or it would be, I'm sorry, it'd be 30 food with 10, whereas that would be 24, 7 of it each round. That gives me 3. Yeah, you know what? Well, hold on.
While you think this through
Yep.
and chat with the...
Sure, go for it.
I've had several cups of coffee because I've been up since 4 a.m.
So it goes 17, 18, 19, 20, 20. So I'm going to owe minus 10 on each of those. So 10, 20, 29, 44 food, which this would give me 3, 30, and I'm still short. So actually, I will go ahead and leave 2 cattle. So that's going to be a total of 8 meat and 4 hides to go along with the 3 that I already had. Oops. So 1, 2, 3, and 4 hides. And it just gets me out from under that stress. All right. So, all right. So let's see. Ian's talking about who's going to Spiel. He said, I'll be in the air this time next week. This time next week, let's see. Today is what? Tuesday? It's actually Tuesday night over there. So we should be at a hockey game in Germany. It's going to be me and Amanda, Uli, Clay, and Carmen, and Uli's buddy and our friend Christopher. So that's going to be a lot of fun. Iseldor, I think, Iseldor is the hockey team. That's Uli's favorite. It's a 4,400 person arena, so that should be pretty insane this time next week. And 3 days from right now, we will be getting ready to leave for the airport to fly to the Netherlands for Essen for the trip to Amsterdam and Leiden before we go. So looking forward to that. So sadly, no Asher. Yep, sorry. He will not be flying. Correct. All right, cool. So you're back. So I did go to the abattoir and turn in 8 cattle for 4 hides.
Decided on 8.
And the
All
meat.
right.
Yep. So we now harvest. So here is yours, sir.
Thank you very much. Glad to see you're back to at least being able to hand me pieces again.
I'm not bitter. Yes, I am. So 17 food each. So 10 for me, and is going to be a total of 7. So that's going to be 2 meat and a fish. Very protein heavy diet here.
Yeah. So I'm at 12. I could overpay 1 by paying, but since somebody's been giving me some fish here and there.
All right. So we have a steel ship. Cool. You're up now. So 18 food, and the lowest building currently is going to be the cokery. So
Okay.
interest, still none. This would be the first game I've ever seen where nobody's taken a loan, if that continues.
At this point, I don't see that changing. I think we both have solid enough food engines to get us through the last few turns, and yeah.
7 wood, by the way.
7 wood,
Okay.
which...
And a ton of
shiny.
grain as well, right?
So
So 316, Rob says, for the final auction for the us muling games back, 7 games of your choice. You have to pay for the games, and you have to pay for shipping from either Essen or from HCHQ here in
Wow.
Denver. It's up to you. You pay for that. So, but what we're offering is we're offering to buy the game, to actually go to Essen and purchase them, and our luggage space. So our
Yeah,
time and our
valuable
luggage
luggage
space.
space.
Yes. And yes, Brant, Le Havre very much is soloable. Yep.
It's actually interesting while I tank a little bit here. On BGG, you can find a thread, if you're so inclined, to where they mapped out the perfect game of Le Havre solo. Like the cards come out in
Right,
the
yeah,
exact,
yeah,
perfect,
right,
the
yeah.
exact right special buildings, the perfect game.
Sure, right.
You can score in the millions.
No.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
How?
I've not looked because
Like,
I
it's
don't want
gotta
to.
be-
It's something abusing.
You know what? I just
shipping.
I don't care. It's the same thing as the Few Acres of Snow, Halifax Hammer.
Yeah.
I know it's out there. I've intentionally not gone to look for it because I can still enjoy
Exactly.
a few acres of snow. Sometimes, in my opinion, ignorance is bliss.
Absolutely. You went to the abattoir, correct?
I did.
You grabbed the wrong piece.
I did, didn't I?
Yeah.
Yep. Why don't we put you back, and I will just
Yeah.
come on over and hang out there. My bad. It's not yellow. What do I know?
Right.
All right.
Man, I wish that cokery was in play. Because I got all this coal. It'd be nice to turn some of it into coke.
And I assure you that if you use that coke right now here at the steel mill, that cokery will get built after the fact.
Oh, yeah.
Neener. Take my 40 points away from me.
Ugh.
I would say I'm not bitter, but I really, really am.
Yeah.
Oh, I see Carmen. Hey, what's up? That's funny. Yeah, players were promised a heavy cardboard T-shirt if they win 5 straight. That's funny. Isildur, that's funny. Yeah, Ian, when you and I were talking about, designing the patron T-shirt for us, which, by the way, awesome. I cannot wait to see that. Thank you. One of the things that we were going to try and see if we were going to be able to get the rights to, for you to maybe do a redesign of the player boards only that we could sell in the store, but we were like, you know what, that's probably that's a step or two further than we are willing to go at this point
Yeah.
in life. So it was something we were going to check into, but we figure we would start with the patron only T-shirts. So thanks again for that.
So here's my problem.
Only one?
Steel ship. No,
Uh-huh.
well, there's a few. A steel ship still costs 3 energy to make.
It does.
I could go to the steel mill to get the steel, the 2 steel.
But
it
then-
would cost me 10 energy. I've still just got 4 coal, which would mean I'd burn 12 energy, and then I wouldn't have energy for steel ships. And so steel ships are still at least 2 turns away for me, which, ouch. Cokery, I'd have to take clay, then do brick, then Dubai, which brick,
Not the area
Big.
Dubai, not the city, right?
Correct.
I got you, right.
and then buy.
There is a charcoal kiln.
If there is a charcoal kiln, I would need wood
Oh,
to
you do.
operate
right.
a charcoal
Well,
kiln,
there's a big pile of wood.
which could solve some of that energy crisis. And I think ultimately 7 wood is really hard to pass up. There's still wooden ships available. There's still, it's 1 energy per. It's 7.
It is.
I can't.
It could have been 8
It could have been
for
8.
me.
Yeah.
All right. So I have a ton of brick. I have a ton of iron. I have some coal.
So
So it's 2 steel for the steel ships, and it's 3 steel for the luxury liners.
uh-huh.
And the steel ships increase by 4 points each. So it goes 16, 20, 24, by the way.
Okay. Good to know.
You know, 4 wood. 4 wood, and I need 5 brick. You know what? And I need 2 food, which I have. Yeah, here we go. All right. So I'm actually going to come over to the construction firm. I'm going to spend 2 food back to the game.
Okay.
So 2 fish. And I'm going to build the town hall and the cokery,
Okay.
I think. Well, I'm definitely going to build the cokery. If I decide to change, I will move over to the building firm. So here, I will, because we have the fishery and the smokehouse, those kind of work together. We'll go ahead and do them like so. There we go. And the cokery for sure. So that's going to cost 2 brick, Stanley. So 1, 2, and only 2 iron. Pfft, got that for days. All right, so that's built. So my other option is the town hall, which I can do. The town hall is going to be worth 10 points to me. That would be worth 28. And then 2, 4, 6, 8. Yeah, we are. Because I have all the other regular buildings, and that's 2 per.
Yeah.
So it just makes
And
sense.
it's worth 10 by itself.
Yeah. So 4 wood there, and then 3 more brick. So 1, 2, 3.
Yep.
And this is just going to kind of hang out. Just know that I have this, guys, because I don't have room in my Tableau unless I shrink the chat, and I don't want to do that. So this is just, there's no use for it. It's just end-game scoring. So I'm just going to put it down here underneath. I think that was the best use of my resources.
Yeah, that's a substantial amount of points.
Yep. So that's a fish for you, a grain, and then don't forget, as a reminder, the cokery is available. You got all that wood, the charcoal kiln, which that's free. This costs $1.
Yep, and it's absolutely, considering all the different things I currently want to do, it's a no-brainer to go use the cokery. So there's your buck, sir.
Thank you.
I've got 4 coal that will nicely become 4 coke and $4.
Okay. Yep. I realized that I was kind of feeding you to be able to do that.
Yep.
But
Absolutely made that no-brainer in my mind.
so an iron and a money. So I'm looking over at your buildings. I really don't want to have to spend anything to be able to go over there and do anything. So we have 3 iron here, which that would allow me to do 6. That would give me 6 iron at that point and a ton of energy, which is awfully tempting at this point. So is the $5, but you know what? We're just going to go ahead and take the free 3 iron for me, because here it would have been 3, and I could have spent energy, but I really don't want to have to do that to get the 1 extra and have to pay you $1 to do it. I'm all set with that.
Works for me.
So a wood and $1. And so that now makes it 6. So we'll turn 4, get a 5.
And I
there
agree. Man, that $6 is tempting. Money in this game is nice. But I've got all this coke to turn into lots and lots of energy.
Okay.
And so I'm going to use that energy. So I will kindly move over to the steel mill. Now my dilemma here is, do I turn all 4 of my iron into steel in anticipation of steel ships and maybe cruise liners?
Mm-hmm.
Or do I save a little bit of that energy rather than using up half of my coke? Do I save a little bit of it to use in other areas like shipping?
Right.
They
are, Cave Hines, they are.
I think, ooh, that's an option. I've got all this wood. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 wood, which is 7 energy.
Choices, huh?
Yep.
Jason, I've got all this Coke to turn into lots of energy. So I do more Coke so I can work more hours, so I can make more money, so I can do more Coke. And wrong kind of Coke, just saying, all right? Weed is legal here in Colorado. Weed is. JJ, I hear a little Coke goes a long way. Depends on your habit, I suppose.
I think I'm just gonna go all in on it. I'm gonna turn all four into steel.
And that cost you 20?
20.
Okay.
So 2 of those that I just got.
All right. So a fiche and a clay. And this is my last action. So I have enough food, so we're going to stay on target as well. So I will come over here. I will convert all 4, which gives me $4 as well. And 40 energy. Well, I guess 3, 12, 28 extra energy. So I'll take a 5, turn in my 1. Done. You, sir. A wood and a clay. Oops. That was impressive.
Yeah, right in the little spot there.
Oh, that's very cool, Space Monkey.
I've got the steel for steel ships.
You do.
And they provide 7 food.
They do. Which would free you up completely this turn, and you would only owe 1 food the last 2 turns. I'm sorry, the final... Sorry, you would be at 19, so you would be fine this turn and next turn, and then you would owe 2 food the final 2 turns. Yes, or 1 food each, but 2 food total. Correct, right.
Which I think puts me in just a really solid spot for where I want to be late game, especially when I consider the fact that the steel ship sells 4 goods.
It does.
Whereas wood ships...
2.
2.
And you have to spend, what is it? It's 3 energy per ship, right? So, yeah.
So
it's twice as efficient.
Correct. So I'm going to do 2 steel.
Okay. And 3 energy, sir?
Yep. And I've got Coke, but that's 10 energy. I don't want to waste that. I'm just going to burn 3 wood to get a steel ship.
So you're up to 19 now.
Yep.
So 12 and 7, they don't go that high. All right, we both get our resources, our harvest. It's funny, you and I have these big stacks of grain.
Come over to the wharf.
You do, which is the important thing for me. So we got the harvest. So I owe 18 minus 10, so I owe 8. There is 9.
Okay.
And you don't know anything.
I don't know anything.
Yeah. All right, so 29. The bank gets built by the city. So the bank, at the end of the game, you get points, extra points for industrial and commercial. So you have what, 2, 3, you have 4. This is worth 12. This is worth 28 points, but it costs 40 to build it or to buy, and you can't build it now. So basically, this is pretty much useless for anybody, so I'm just going to kind of put it over here. It really doesn't matter.
Yeah.
The fact that it wasn't built, that's pretty much it. And the last one is there. So, another steel ship. And here we go. So, 19 and special building. Interest, still not.
Yeah, I mean, I'm increasingly certain it's not going to happen.
I'm really surprised, legitimately surprised. And I'm curious. So, okay, so 2 questions. Now that we are into round 12 of 14, for those that haven't played this, are you able to follow along? Is the game making sense, number 1? Number 2, for those that have played it, have you seen no loans taken? I never have. In any of the games that I've played, I've never seen it. So...
I think...
Matthew, take care. Thanks for taking care of everything for me today. I appreciate it, man.
Yeah, have a good one, Matt. I think, and it's been a little while since I've sat down and played a 2-player version, but I think that I have seen in 2-player no loans.
I see, and this is my first 2-player game of this ever. So,
okay. Yeah, the food ramps up quicker, but it's also a lot easier to kind of find it if
Okay.
if you need to. And it's also one of those things like everything's split between two people, all the ships, and if you're using my things, you're paying me, which is it's not as spread out as it gets in other games.
Okay.
So I think, if I recall correctly, I have seen in 2 players no loans.
Okay.
But
Cool.
I still feel like it's a little odd.
Okay. So at this point, I'm really leaning towards 2 options for my turn. There's really nothing out here that is really like saying, I must take it. So my options are the steel mill, which would give me 6 steel, which should scare the hell out of you.
Yeah.
So 6 steel. Or I could go over to the tannery, because you can't do anything about the steel mill. And that would give me money, because the tannery then frees me up, because the tannery, that's worth 4 francs, which is the second most lucrative thing, the third most lucrative thing to ship, which is leather.
Yeah. Behind steel and coke, which are very valuable as actual building resources.
Correct. And I have 9 meat left. I owe 9 food at this moment. So you know what? I think I will. And notice the tannery is free. So you're allowed to do it up to 4 times. So I will take 4 hides, turn them into leather, and
Pays you 4 money.
give me $4. Thank you very much.
Right on.
Yeah, I think that's the right way, the order in which to do this. So 1 wood and 1 moo.
Which actually works surprisingly well for what I'm wanting to do right now.
Okay.
Especially over a couple turns, which we'll see how it actually plays out. I'm going to come to the bakehouse.
Okay.
I've still got...
we do have a ton. Both of us have. You have
Grain.
more than I do.
Yeah.
We have a ton of grain, right?
So I'm going to pay the 1 fish. And then I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11.
You could do 12 because we're in 2 turns short from
Yep.
the end of the game.
Which would cost 6 energy. And I think at that point,
It's worth wasting a coke.
I think it's worth wasting a coke.
Right.
A coke. Because I can't pay for it with wood. Wood, I could only do 4.
Okay.
But I do think that now, going all 12, using a coke, which would be 6 energy, I get $6.
Yep. So there and there.
And I turn all of this into bread. And then, because it is still technically my turn, I'm going to buy, now that I've got a big pile of money,
The shipping line.
the shipping line.
Yep. That's smart. I could see that because it gets him 2 food, which is potentially 2 points.
And, I mean, I've been talking about how I want to ship. So it saves me
It does.
from paying 2 food
Yep.
to ship.
All right. So let's get that down a little.
Yeah, trying to squeeze it all in
Yep,
there.
There we go. Here, let's just. Bueno. There we go. Cool. All right. So for my turn, I lost my train of thought. Right, the steel mill, but this first. So fish and a grain. So I will come over to the steel mill. Unfortunately, I got to pay $2 to do it. So I'm going to take all 6 steel. That's going to cost me 30 energy. So that's 3 coke.
Right on.
Done. Totally worth it. 1 iron and 1 franc. Wow, 7 points sitting here. Just, for a
Wait
turn.
we took.
Okay,
So-
Benjamin, that sounds cool. I'm glad to hear it. Yeah, the player mats are nice. It really is.
Oh,
It
yeah.
keeps everything just tidy and organized.
Yep. Well,
And it gives you the information. And you were talking about the other player aids that you use.
it's a full
Full
11
sheet,
by
yeah.
full sheet of paper.
8.5 by 11. Yeah.
Yeah, gotten a little bit more information on it.
Okay.
So I have the shipping line. I could ship. I've got some things to ship. The tannery's now open. I've got 4 hides I could turn into some leather and
And get
additional
4
money.
points. Yeah.
But more importantly, right now, you're sitting on a bunch of steel.
I've noticed that. You are correct, sir.
You've got energy.
I
to
do
burn.
have.
And there's only 1 steel ship right now.
You are correct.
I've got 2 steel, and I've got some energy to burn. I want to get out ahead of that,
Okay.
and I'm going to build the last steel ship. for now.
Yep.
Which puts me well over
It
the
doesn't
20.
matter. Yeah. At this point, you don't owe food. The end. And did you pay?
And I paid 2 steel.
Yep.
And I'm going to use 3 wood again because I'm going to hold on to that coke.
Cool. All right. So moving over here, which is a wood and 8 points.
Yep.
That's just too many points at this point.
It
So
was
that 5. So I'm up to 15 now.
Yeah. And it was at that point for me, if it had been there.
Because of the extra $1, I was like, all right, fine. That makes it really, really easy. So the clay and the fish. So that's 5 clay and a plethora of fish.
And now's when I will take the opportunity to come right back off of there. And now I'm going to go ship.
Okay.
And so I've got my coke.
Okay, so explain this to the folks that haven't.
Yeah, so might be kind of hard to see parts
down.
of this.
There you go. Here, just set it down and
Yeah.
it'll sit. There you go.
So 3 per loaded ship. 3
you know
energy
what?
per
Hold on.
loaded ship. Okay, yeah.
There you go.
And I'll even pull out my ships here so you can also see on them.
There we go. Okay.
Flank it on either side there. So it costs 3 per loaded ship. I only have wood and steel ships. I completely skipped iron ships. You can see on the wood ships, sells 2 goods using the shipping line. Steel sells 4 goods using the shipping line. And then here, and it's also printed on all of the pieces. You
And
can
on the
kind of
player
see-
mat
And
as
on
well.
the player mat,
Yep.
the value of various goods. So I just a second ago cooked all that bread. Bread sells for 3 francs a piece, which is pretty substantial.
So to use 3 ships would need 3 energy.
Which
And I mean, you have how many steel ships?
I've got 2 steel ships and a wood ship, so that allows me to sell 10
goods. Yep.
for 9 energy. This coke,
Yeah,
I'll
right.
burn an energy
You're
there.
right.
That's totally
Right.
worth it. And then I will sell of that bread that I just did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and earn $30.
There you go. Cool.
Which
Wow. I
shipping
think I
one got.
actually nailed that. Oh, nice. All right. Cool. Good deal. All right.
And-
So 30 points. That's a good turn.
Which then I'm going to take a quick second and look over the board and see if there's anything else out there that buying would, maybe.
So
Getting
put your
Edward's
marker
way.
on the shipping line
Yeah.
as well. So while you're considering that, I'll go ahead and continue on here. So we have another wood and another clay.
I don't expect him to try and build the church. We're neither. So building things, buying those, isn't going to do anything for me. The one that might be worthwhile would be this guild house. It costs 8. It's worth 4, 5, 6. And then my shipping line that I just bought makes it worth 8. So I'd spend 8. It'd be worth 8. Gives me hammer, fishing line. And potentially keeps him from doing it. But looking at his buildings, he doesn't have. So I don't think that's going to do much for me. It'd be just a neutral exchange of money. I don't expect him to do brickworks, but what he might be interested in doing, and what we'll just in case, I'm going to spend the 8. I'm going to buy the bakehouse.
It's a neutral move because it's going to get him 8 points, but he just spent 8 points to do so.
And that way, if he wants to use all that grain and turn it into bread, I'll get 1 food, which...
Sure. Yeah, it's food, right?
Yeah, it'll either be $1, which is a point, or, you don't have fish. Maybe you'll pay me a steak.
No, I guess I can put that out now. All right, welcome, Tiago. All right, so I've already filled this up. So here are my options. So I'm not sweating food for this turn, but I do have 2 more turns in which I will need food. So the grain is an option for sure. The ironworks is also an option to give you a point to be able to get another 4 iron, which tempting because you were wiped out. Basically, you have almost no building resources at this point. So I could go over to the ironworks to be able to get 3 iron. And then... Huh. Or I take the wood just for the extra energy, because I only have 10 energy right now. Or I could go to the colliery, which also gives me a total of 9 there as an option. You have no energy, you have no iron. I mean, you do have 1 wood, I guess, but...
Yeah.
You know what? I think iron is going to be the more important thing. So I will go there. I will pay you $1. So here's 1 for you, sir.
Okay.
I will get 4 back. So I will go ahead and take 3 iron. Plus, I can always ship this stuff if I choose to not build ships with it.
Right.
So not a terrible option. Not going to buy the extra one, and I'm done.
Okay.
All right, so that's the end. Harvest. You get a cattle, but no grain.
Yeah, I no longer get grain.
And I get 1 of each. And then I owe 19 food minus 10. There's 9. That's 3 steaks. You don't have any. The special building on this one is the coal trader, which allows you to turn food into both charcoal and or up to 5 coal. So
That's not shabby.
right, and I knew that was in there, obviously, because I seeded it. So this comes out there. Cool. So you're, sorry, hold on. The last steel ship is now available, and the last 2 are the cruise
lines.
ships, which are worth more points, but they're not worth any.
Right.
You can't ship on them, so no interest. Again, more fish, and stack of wood, sir.
So this is where I get into, like, looking ahead, including this turn. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7
Yep.
turns left in the game.
Yep, including this one, you have
Yep.
7 actions.
And then there's the one very final
one.
free action.
That anybody can do anything, which is usually either building a ship or shipping.
Yep.
Right.
So I don't have a lot of time left. As you pointed out so astutely, I'm very low on funds. There's not really anything left to
In
build.
fact, we both have 7 actions right now, the last 2 turns,
So
right?
we're sitting pretty much even.
Yep.
I could try to maybe compete for either a 24-point steel ship, or as these come out,
That's 34 or 36, and the other one is...
well, they
Yeah,
show
there
them
you go.
also here, 34 and 30. The luxury ships go the other way.
Right.
They get less expensive.
The nice thing, I will say, the really nice advantage here is if you look at how everything will play out, I will be first on the next turn,
Yep.
which means I will get first option to build the expensive ship, and the expensive ship is 3 steel and 3 energy. I have 6 steel and 10 energy.
Yeah. The one saving grace for that situation is that your energy is all bottled into one piece.
True.
You don't get change.
True. Although I have a lot of actions to be able to do so.
Yeah. So, keeping all of that in mind, I could go for ships. I could also just go, hey, I can ship 10 things a turn. If I can make $30 a turn, you know. If I can ship a few times. Either way, I'm looking at steel being pretty valuable. I'm going to need energy to ship. These are all things that...
And that's why I went for the higher energy.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, the higher steel as opposed to the smaller steel here.
Yeah.
And there's iron. I apologize. And then there's only 1 iron available there.
I think that at this point, looking down here and seeing that for 11 food, I can get 5 coal and the charcoal, which is still worth 3 energy.
Yep.
I think that is a worthwhile thing for me to do. Now, here's where I'm going to ask you, and maybe Peanut Gallery, because I'm not entirely sure. So I have to pay 1 food to do that.
You do.
does that have to be I do that separate, or can I lump that in to pay?
You have to pay for the food first.
Okay.
So
it
whether
can't
it's
be
a
part of the
point,
12.
no, it cannot.
Okay.
Correct.
That's what I figured. I
Right.
just wanted to make sure. 9, 10, 11.
And 1.
1.
So he's going to get 1 charcoal and 5 coal for that.
Yeah. And so 1
Our
bread.
first charcoal of the game.
Yeah.
And 5 coal. Okay.
Right.
So the rest of my game is pretty much rote at this point. There's not a ton of decisions unless you do something that thwarts me, obviously.
Yeah.
So wood and cattle comes out. So obviously I'm going to need some food. So at some point I'm either going to convert all my cattle or my grain. I'll worry about that later. I have a couple more turns to worry about that.
Right.
So my options, I could go to the steel mill. I have 2 iron. Right? You have none.
Yep.
The ships are mine if I want them.
Right.
Unless, you block me on that. But you can't unless you build wooden ships, which you need wood, etc., etc. So the steel mill, because you have no iron, I don't have to worry about. It's not super pressing. The thing that I can be blocked on right now, though, is energy. So let me count out how many wood are here first. This way I don't have to pay you anything to be able to do this. So there are a total of 9 energy right here for wood, which that is a wash between those two, and this is free. Although this is 9, whereas that's 3 pieces times 3, whatever. It's still 9 regardless.
9
I
energy.
could spend an action to turn it into charcoal, which then makes them worth 3. And that would give me the energy that I would want to be able to offset what I spend for the steel.
Yeah.
So if I were, so this would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then the last action, maybe. You know what? Step 1, take the wood.
Okay.
Done. So fish and grain. Fish and grain.
It's always funny,
It was so important earlier,
early
and now
game,
we're
it's
like,
oh, man,
now
there's
it's just
4
rotting
fish.
on
I
the.
can't pass 4 fish.
All right. So you're up,
Yep.
sir.
Mine's pretty simple again at this point. Same thing. A lot of this, unless you somewhere get in my way, it's
Right.
pretty easy to determine. I've got 5 coal sitting here. I'll pay you $1.
Okay.
And then I'll turn that 5 coal into 5 coke.
Yep.
And then I get $5.
Oh, yeah,
Yep.
thanks. I'll get lost in my head there. Okay, there and there. So now that I have, so I have 1 action left this turn. That would be 17 of the 20. I have no food right now. That would be a little wasteful, but I think... All right, hold on. I got to think. Give me a second.
It's pretty nice not having to worry about food at this point, I must say. Dave, I assume you're talking about the coal trader that got me all that energy.
What cost me 3? So if I were there, 3, 6 energy, 3, that would leave me 9. Sorry guys, I know this isn't riveting, but actually, I don't need the charcoal kiln. I have enough to be able to do what I want to do. So,
Okay.
that said, I've already done this, so I will. But that gives you 2 points. You know what? Not going to worry about it. There. So, I will give you 2 points because I have no food right now.
Yep.
And I will go ahead and build the steel ship. So, that's going to be 3 wood and 2 steel. So, 1, 2. And now we're up to 17 on that. So if you'll hand me a 7, please. Now I only owe 3 food. Okay, cool. And you're up a wood
Yeah.
and a franc.
Which
Done.
really leaves you still sitting in a very good spot. You've got plenty of energy. You've still got steel. And you've got, like you pointed out, the first turn to,
Yep.
unless I find some way to sit on that wharf.
I just don't think I can catch you because of your buildings. I think you're going to end up, plus you're sitting on all that money. I think you got this, but I think I will at least have been competitive.
Yeah, make it
so
interesting.
I'm cool with that.
So I'm in a stay on target kind of mode here. I'm trying to decide. The only major decision I have at this point is whether or not I go for steel, because I would kind of like to end up with that second cruise ship just to really pad things over. Because at that point I will have the first option when that one flips. But that's still a ways away. The tricky decision then becomes, yeah, man. I don't see any reason for you to really want iron anymore. So I could go here, I could get just the 3 iron, which I could then turn into steel. And I think that's really the way I tempted to wait until it would come back around and just take it from there.
Right.
But then that puts me tight. Like, because I'd have to take the iron, I'd have to convert it to steel, and then I'd have to be ready to buy that ship. And that gives you just, that makes me feel too much like there's an opportunity for you to get in my way. And I want to avoid that. So I'm going to go ahead and get the steel right now.
Okay. So are you going to spend the extra energy to get a 4th?
I am not.
Okay.
I don't really, I'm not going to. And
Okay.
here's why. I don't have an easy way to do 6 energy out here. So I'd burn a Coke. And then I'd come to the steel mill, presumably a little later. I'd be paying 5 per. So I'd spend 2 more. That knocks me down to just 20. I want 3 to buy. I presumably want at least 10 to... Oh, man. See, now I'm almost talking myself into it. Yeah, I think I'm sitting on just enough energy. I think that I'll burn a Coke to get an extra
Okay.
iron. Yeah.
All right. So
I've
already filled these up.
Ooh.
17 and 3, that would be a total of 5 points. And I think that might be...
Apparently, Giovanni says the coal trader used to be unlimited.
Oh, wow, that would be...
For somebody like
a bit
me,
OP.
I could have just dumped all of my food.
So I have 2 choices right now. You know what? If I lose by 3 points, truly, if I lose by 3 points, this is the move that does it. So I cannot take the risk of you blocking me out of the steel mill.
Gotta go now.
So I gotta go now. So I will spend $2 to you to do so. I will convert 2 iron. 2 iron into steel to spend the 10 energy for that. And now, because when I ship, those are worth 8 points. If I do that, if you end up taking the last one, then I got steel for days. So I'm good. So I'm curious, now that I've done that, would you have gone there this turn?
I probably would have this turn for the same reason that I decided to take the iron right now. In that, well, and especially because getting in your, like, although you had the steel, so it wouldn't have been nearly as pressing. It would have been more I imagine you'll do this at some point. I would like to get it over with.
Okay.
That makes my decision now much easier.
Okay. And the reason the 3 points, I have 17 food. I don't have any food, so it's going to cost me $3 to
Okay.
pay for that. Whereas I could have gone to the abattoir. I could have taken the fish. Either would have been worth it to me because I probably would have taken the fish because that would have paid me good
Yeah.
for the rest of the game. And so I was worried that I would get blocked out of that and I wouldn't be able to convert it from 2 to 8 francs per. And I was like, what if he sits there until the end of the game? And I was like, you know what? No, it's not worth it for 3 points. So go ahead.
Right on. Well, that makes it easy. I know you're sitting on some hide that you
I
would
am.
probably like to turn into leather at some point.
In theory.
You've blocked me out of steel for now. I've got exactly 4 hides that I would like to go ahead and get turned into leather. And also, I'm going to just turn in a buck
Okay.
and take
There you go.
a 5 spot.
All right. So you get a cattle. You
Yep.
get a cattle, and you get a cattle, and I still get another grain, as well as a cattle. And as I said, I'm gonna owe 3 food, so that's 2 points there, or 3 points
Yep.
that I just wasted because I'm at 17.
Right.
Okay, so nothing else. The luxury liner is available, and there, so that's gonna be 1 wood and 1 fish. So I will go ahead and come over. Where is it? Help me out.
The
Thank
wharf.
you. Yep. So I will go there, which is going to be 2 food. You can't build.
Well, I could build iron ships. I
Which
can't
would-
beat you to the luxury liner, but
then
I
you could
tie
camp
up the
on it.
space.
You know what? Yeah, here. It's a 4-point swing, so be it. I will go ahead and spend the 3 energy, which is going to be 3 wood and 3 steel. 1, 2, 3 for the luxury liner, which is just 34 points.
That's a lot of points.
It is. Done. And you're up. This is the final round, by the way.
Yep.
So wood and cattle. Your turn, sir.
So looking at your board,
Mhm.
I can see that you've got 4 wood left.
I have
Not
3
much.
wood.
Either
Which is enough for anything that I need to do.
that you need to do. It's not enough to convert your last iron into steel.
Correct.
So I'm not worried about you doing the steel mill and getting in the way of me trying to snag that last cruise liner to keep that advantage even.
Mm-hmm.
What I am concerned about is now that you've got some bigger ships, maybe you want to go shipping.
Okay.
I don't want to see that happen. I'm going to go ahead and get out in front of the shipping for this turn. I've got 4 ships, so 12 energy. Which, 12 energy, I'd be wasting 1. 12 energy would let me send all 4, which would be 12 goods. Let's see if it's worth it to send that other one. 4 leathers. 1, 2, 3. Which 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 goods. Bread would make 12 goods. I think that it makes sense in this situation to spend the extra energy there and go ahead and ship all 12 while I'm shipping.
Okay.
So I'll do that. I'm shipping 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 at 3 apiece. So 24. And then
24
4
and
at
12 is
4
36.
16. No, it's 40 because these are 4s.
Oh, sorry.
4
40.
4 is 16. So
It's 40.
I jumbled it all up.
I'm tired of paying you money for things, and I still need a couple of food, so it seems a little short-sighted, maybe, or maybe I'm not going to spend the time to math it out. So I'll go ahead, head over to the abattoir, and just convert all my cattle over. So that's going to be a total of 6 cattle. which gives me 3 hides.
Yeah, which at this point, there's no harvest. So,
Yeah.
There's not enough time to do anything with that extra cow besides maybe ship it. Even if there was
Correct.
going to be a harvest.
So the iron and 1. All right.
All right.
Your penultimate turn before the 1 free action that any
Yep.
of us can take.
Yeah. I find myself in an interesting spot. That last ship is worth 30.
Mm-hmm.
So if I were to and you're in a position to buy it.
Yes.
If I don't.
Yes. So I'm actually in a pretty good position.
Yeah.
You're either going to allow me the ship, or I'm going to ship.
Yeah. And realistically, I'm moving off of here, so you're probably going to. I'd be surprised if you don't end up shipping something.
Sure.
If I go this turn, I get steel. Then I don't know what do I do on my next turn. Is what I'm trying to decide. Where there's a path forward in that regard.
One, two, three. Yep. All right. Got the rest of my game figured out. Okay.
Oh. Well, yeah, I feel like I'm going to end up wasting a turn.
Glorious.
Yeah, because I have to move off the shipping line to use it again this round anyway. So I could go for getting more goods, but I mean, the things that cost 3, red,
Or
I don't
that
have
are
grain
worth
to
3.
convert.
Right.
I don't have a way to get cattle out here. That wouldn't move me off the shipping line, so it wouldn't free up my shipping line.
Fair enough.
I could go to the steel mill, convert the steel,
Mm-hmm.
and then come back and sell it. But then what do I do for my free move next turn? Plus that opening, you can free move.
Mm-hmm.
That, man.
I can always ship. At the end of the game,
Yeah.
you can't block me
I
from
can't
shipping.
block you from
Correct.
shipping.
Right.
And same thing if I decide to just go to the wharf and buy the iron ship blocking you, well then you go for your free, you ship now, and then for your free action at the beginning you come here and build the luxury liner. I can't do a lot besides stay on target and go for that luxury ship and hope that, my next turn's going to be relatively wasted here.
Okay.
I'll go ahead and convert all the steel.
So that's 20 coke.
Yep. And because I need 3 to buy it,
Mm-hmm.
which would be 15. So I might as well do the other one. But it won't matter because I need this to buy the ship. So I'm not going to be able to do really anything else with the next part of my turn.
So. Yep. Thanks.
Yep.
All right. So I have 3 actions left. 1, 2, and then the free one. I know I'm not going to get the other luxury liner, so that means I'm going to ship, which means I need 9 energy, which I can either do the charcoal kiln, I could go to the colliery, but that would pay you 2 food, so no.
Especially where you don't have...
Yeah,
Well,
so-
you've got the meat now, so
Yeah,
you could.
so I'm actually just going to go the charcoal kiln, so that gives me 9 energy, which gives me 3 ships. So I'm good.
Yep.
And you're doing a fish and a clay, and you're up.
And this is where I have the wasted turn. I can't afford to fuel for shipping
Well, you could.
and still be able to buy the luxury
Correct.
liner.
You're
I would be
only
sacrificing
doing
the
one of
luxury
them.
liner.
Correct.
And I'm not gonna. I could, if we were being really competitive, I could sit here and math out like, oh, I could ship all of this and
Right.
it'd be this much. Not worth worrying about. So really, it's what gets me points without being able to ship again, because my free action will be building that. The only thing that I can do that gets me points is
4 points.
4 points.
All right. So now for me, I could ship now, and then I could ship again in theory if I had energy. I won't have enough energy because I only have 9, and to fuel. Well, if I went. Actually, that would get me an extra good. Interesting. Or I convert hides, which is worth more points, so I will.
No.
I'm pretty sure that that's going to be the most lucrative thing for me to do, which, if I convert the hides that I have, and I have more than 4, if I convert them, that gives me an extra 4 points, and then they're 4 points apiece to be able to ship them. I don't see anything else that's worth it. Do you see anything that I'm missing?
Not.
I don't think so. So unless I'm forgetting something obvious, and the tannery's free as well.
Yeah.
So that's going to be 4, which gets me an extra $4 as well. So here, just make it 5.
There you go.
There we go. And oh, sorry, that was that.
Yep.
And then that's the end of the game, except for our free action. So you're up first. So we owe 20 food. So 17, 20.
Yep.
Boom, done. Okay, this flips over. And you get 1 free action. Does not matter where pieces are, you can do
Yep.
anything. Yep.
Dave points out I could always have shipped the steel, and so that was potentially.
That's actually worth more points.
And it probably would have been, and I could still do that.
Yeah. It's worth more points.
It's
There's
worth
no reason.
more points, but the denial aspect. But then if you build the ship, you're not shipping. I think.
Shipping's more.
I
worth it.
think
Yeah,
it
is.
makes more sense.
So you can fuel 3 ships.
3 ships, which is 10, as we've previously
Yep.
worked, which works out because of what I've got here.
Yeah.
I'll
That's
do it a little bit more
32,
to see
which
it.
the ship's only worth 30.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So I actually ship everything I have left.
Yep. So
Which-
that's 32.
32, 33, 34, 35, 41 to
Okay.
ship everything I have left, which you could argue means that I was very efficient this game. I have no wasted goods. Everything got used.
So I could buy the final luxury liner, but it is more lucrative for me to ship as well. So I have a total of 9 energy. I have 3 ships, so I'll spend the 3 energy. So I get to ship a total of 10 goods. So this is going to be, I think it's 52 points if I mathed it out right. So there's 24, and then 7 times 4 is 28. 28 and 24 is 52.
Yep.
So that's 4 and 7. So that's going to be 52 points there.
51. Here's your 52.
Okay, so now we go into final scoring.
Excellent
Everybody.
timing, Camille.
All right. So I'm at 52. You're at 126.
Yep.
I like your chances.
I think so.
All right. So we add up basically all the value, and we have the end game scoring. So this is my 1 end game scoring card. So that's going to be worth. This is worth 10, and then buildings. I'm looking at 2 per. So this is 10, 20. And another 20, actually. So that's 40, 58, 62, 68, 72, 92. 92 minus 8 is 126. Ah, shoot. You know what? When in doubt.
Yep.
Because I'm tired. All right. All right. So, here we go. So, for me, 18 plus 10 plus 10 plus... So, that's 40 for those. This is worth 10. 34. 34. Plus my cash. which is 62.
JJ just
Oh,
threw
hey,
you some money.
JJ. Appreciate it. Thank you very much. That was very, very kind. So you almost beat me just in. So I finished at 198, and I wasn't. Yeah, I'm sure you killed me.
Yep. Thanks for playing. So I went through, divvied it up here. So
Yeah.
20, 40, 60, 80, 100, 24, another 22.
So
So 46 plus my 125. Or 126. So 230 something?
Yeah.
Same thing when in doubt.
Enough.
I'm going to throw it in the calculator here.
So what was that? It was 20, 40, 60, 80, 100.
Yep.
124, 134, 146. So 146 plus 126.
Equals 272.
272 to 198. So good game, sir.
Yep.
Thanks for the ass whooping. I appreciate that. All right. That was fun. So let me scoot back over. There we go. All right. So what'd you think?
Le Havre is easily one of my favorite games. Like, I mean, it's not even close. It's top 5. It's a great game. I think it's my favorite Uwe. Narrowly beating Agricola. And yeah, it's a great 2-player game. I mean, about a 3-hour stream.
Yeah, well,
You know,
and
lots of
obviously we're
talking
thinking
and, yeah.
out every single thing we did. Yeah.
But it's a great way to spend 3 hours. Man.
Seriously,
I had
right?
a great time.
Yeah.
Yeah, love it. It's a great game.
Yeah, this Agricola and or at Labora, I'm a big fan. That's Uwe's wheelhouse for me.
I still have not played Aura.
Okay. Oh, we need to remedy
Yeah.
that. For me, I don't like the direction. As anybody that listens to the show, whether it's the podcast or the live streams, I'm not a fan of the direction that Uwe has taken to a more wide open sandbox.
Yeah.
I prefer the constricted engines that you have to build in the games that I mentioned. So this is definitely, it's in my top 20. It may be in my top 5, but it's up there. Is more of the
And
story.
it's hard to say
It's a Hall
where
of Fame
things-
game.
yeah, oh, yeah,
regardless. Yeah, and I mean, I'll be honest. I'm one of those weird people that I don't mind this at 4. 5 might be a little long for what it is.
starts
I
to
think,
drag a
yeah,
little
that's
bit
a bit
at 5,
much.
yeah.
But 2, 3, 4. I mean, this is my first game of it at 2 that I can think of. I may have played it once previously. Love this game across the board. Even though as y'all saw, I got smoked. I felt like, well, a fish in my smokehouse.
I thought, early on, I thought you had a really good getting resources and buying cards thing. I think what really made the difference, and it is a regular strategy of mine, is try and get some ships early. 'Cause
Yeah. Oh,
every
you had a food
turn-
advantage over me that
Yeah.
I was still playing catch up on. So that was
Yeah.
you did a better. Obviously, you did a better job of that than I did. But I'm looking at what I built, and I'm like, yeah, I'm pretty happy with this. So that felt pretty good.
Yeah.
Cool. So that was definitely a lot of fun. Glad you guys enjoyed it, and hopefully it made your
Yeah.
Tuesday a little bit easier, whether you're here in the States in your work day or overseas in your evening.
Yeah.
So be it. So thanks everybody for joining us, both live and after the fact. And we still have our pledge drive going on for another, right at 2 weeks. Don't forget, we're giving away a table from BoardGameTables.com. One of the Duchess, tricked out everything but the topper of the table. Just all our patrons at the $5 or higher level, whether it's annual or through Patreon. So check it out, pledgehc.com. I'm sure Rob will link it here in the chat, and we'll have it down underneath as well. Last but not least, don't forget to subscribe, and if you enjoy these, like them. We appreciate that. It helps bring this to the attention of other folks. So yeah, even the folks that downvote it, it's engagement, so we appreciate it. So yeah, that's all I got today. I have to go continue getting ready for the trip to Essen, and now that Megan's on her way to Bali.
Megan's on her way to Bali. My day's pretty free. I've been up since 4 a.m. Taking her to the airport this morning, then coming over here.
We went and had breakfast,
Which was awesome. Thank you for breakfast.
Oh yeah.
then I got to burn my brain a little bit. So, in addition to not getting much sleep, I'm going to take the day. I'm going to go home. I've got a nice, comfortable couch. I've got an Xbox with Netflix. I think I'm going to kick back, put my heels up.
Nice.
Might look into some games for next week's episode for our show.
Cool.
But at the same time, we recorded last night.
Yeah, you guys did
I'm all set.
Lisboa,
We
right?
did Lisboa,
So
yeah.
check them out.
Ian, if you're still here, dude, amazing art. Love the game. Fantastic.
So plug your site.
Yeah. So milehighgameguys.com. You can check out all of our episodes. We do 2 episodes a week. So tomorrow will be our banter news Kickstarter episode. The review for Lisboa will be out Friday morning after I do some editing.
Cool.
So,
And later on tonight, Amanda will have our Pod Blast up for the week, kind of a state of affairs for Heavy Cardboard, and then our look back at Wildcatters, as well as compare contrast the first versus second edition will be out on Thursday, and that Feudum will be our review and our playthrough will be coming a week or 2 after Essen.
I know
So,
I'm really looking forward to that one.
and maybe you can be a part of that.
Hey, I'd welcome it.
Cool. All right. So thanks, everybody. Really appreciate it. Again, pledgehc.com. And this was a lot of fun, man.
Yeah.
So
hey, no,
enjoyed
always
it,
a pleasure, Edward.
All right, cool. So y'all take care. Have a wonderful rest of your day. And
real quick, somebody was asking about your fancy little boxes.
oh yeah,
They don't stack. They do have lids that they stand on nicely.
Yeah,
then
and
that
they
sides
latch
flip
down.
up.
Yeah. So there you go. Nice. Yep. Office Depot, apparently, according to Amanda.
And
so
fit nice in the box.
they do. All right. Cool. Thanks, guys. Take care, everybody.